Yeah. Sort of. Just doing. Thank you, darling. Just give me. I think I'm coming through twice. Is the problem? That doesn't help. No, you won't. But the stream will. Yeah. If you could. If you. Oh no, I know. Yeah, I am coming through twice. Oh no, I know.
Yeah, it was.
Okay, I think I've fixed it.
Okay, well, let me listen.
Hello, this is a test to make sure that the audio is correct. I'm going to go over to the door and close it now.
Okay, well, let me listen.
Goodbye to my lovely wife. Hello, this is a test to make sure.
Yep, it's going through once. You're good. You fixed it.
You're only on once.
Congratulations.
Right,
Well
I'm
done.
ready to go.
You fixed it.
That's it. It's all good.
Okay.
Okay.
We're ready to go. Stu, are you ready to go?
I'm totally ready to go.
Okay, I think everybody's ready to go.
Let's start the motherfucking show, bitch.
Here we go, people. Come on. Yeah. Yeah.
Welcome yo to the veteran gamers. Jimmy, other fellas will tell you about every single game that you play this week. News, reviews, and an indie pick. Stu story time and Chinny's game breakers. Here comes Duke with the soundbite saviors. It's the veteran gamers. It's the veteran gamers. It's the veteran gamers. It's the veteran gamers.
It's very strange what Eric picks like as a sound effect.
Switch that console off before you have to press repeat, yo.
Maybe people should think before they speak. Hello and welcome to episode 670. No, it's like 671. That's because I'm looking at 670. That's right.
Think
I'm so
before
sorry.
you speak. What the
I
hell?
know. People should think before they speak. 671 even of the Veteran Gamers podcast.
Yay, 671. What up? What up, friends? I'm Duke.
I'm Stu.
Chinny. Sorry, that's just awful.
What do you never go second? What the hell's up with you?
Oh, it's going
Chinny's just all kinds of messed up.
Oh my
Sorry.
god, he's messed up. Have you
Oh,
got jet lag? Have you
jeez.
been abroad or
I've
something?
I've just come back from my brother's.
Have you come
So
from
What's the matter,
fucking
kid? You got wax in your ears.
Have you come from San Francisco? Is this the issue here?
I wish. I wish.
Fucking hell.
Good
yeah,
God.
grief.
No. Awful. Absolutely
Sorry.
terrible.
Well, anyway, we are not military veterans. We're veterans of the gaming lifestyle. And
Yeah,
hello
we
to
are.
any new listeners out there. We're glad you're with us.
We
Have you made a
stream-
bad decision?
Yeah, you do.
We stream live every Sunday on YouTube and Twitch. At the
Sometimes
moment,
we stream twice.
At the
Yeah, we do.
moment, Darren Sim is in the chat, and he says he's hoping for some God of War talk tonight. Well, Darren, you're in luck because this podcast only talks about the up-and-coming latest and greatest video games.
Well, I
Actually,
haven't played
Darren,
it.
you are in luck because I have played that game.
No.
Oh,
We're going to
snap.
talk about
Well,
God of
but
War,
I mean-
but from 2007.
Yeah, we are. God of War 3, man, best one ever.
God of War. That is a good God of War.
That's a
to be
good-
fair.
I'm going to
God
talk
of
about the
War.
God of War mobile game that they released. It only got released in Uzbekistan, so you can't get it most
The
places.
scale,
It's
unbelievable.
not good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I wonder if those old God of War games hold up, Stu. I wonder.
I think 3 would still hold up. I mean,
Yeah.
I played because he did the God of War collection, didn't he? Which was 1 and 2, was it? And
Yes,
no, the
which I
H-
played. Yeah, I played.
Yeah, the
those,
HDified it, and it was all right. I mean, it was a little bit
Right.
juvenile, shall we say?
What?
I
Yeah.
think it's
No.
matured. Matured is.
By the
is
way, hero shirt. Thank you, hero, for
Nice.
the shirt. I'm just going to
Nice,
be doing
nice.
this all show.
Nice, I'm
Duke's-
liking that one. That's a
Duke's
good
showing
one.
off some merch.
I'll tell you, he's doing well with
thanks,
the merch.
hero.
Have you seen? Did you see his hat?
No.
By the way,
My
Heroes
hat,
hat.
it says don't ask.
He embroidered onto a beanie hat the logo,
Oh,
Ah,
nice.
and it looked pretty good. And then he
Yeah.
broke his embroiderer, and that was the end of that.
that's the end of that.
Oh,
So he did
no.
one, started it, got halfway through a second one, and then it broke.
Bastards.
Just saying.
You have to do
I
it
don't
by
like one
hand.
of them beanie hats. It looked cool. It just worked. You know the newer logo. It looked great on it.
And now it's time for our regular feature. What you been reading?
Yeah, what
hey,
have you been
where's the
reading?
sound clip? What? Why does it not have? What
Oh,
you
no.
been reading? Oh, because I put the MP3 part twice. Here we go. I got it. What you been reading? What you been reading? What you been reading? Qu'est-ce que tu lirais? So as some of you know, I've been really interested in this whole Nexium cult thing, and
Oh,
I
yeah.
talked about
Totally.
it on the Sincast. The
Jimmy,
people
what's
who
he going
joined
on
it were
about?
really hungry, as is everybody really, for some ontological security, the sense of who we are and what's
Jimmy,
guiding us.
seriously,
Anyway,
what is he
I
talking
recently got
about?
the book from the woman who is the subject of The Vow on HBO's The Vow, and it's really interesting. I'm really interested in her experiences and Keith Raniere and all sorts of other stuff. So if anybody out there is watching The Vow, I got the book up, like the hookup, but with the book. So
Well, I'm reading something very intellectual at the moment. I'll have you
Oh, yeah,
know,
what's
Duke. I
that?
think you'll be impressed. It's
Go
a
on.
murder mystery called The Santa Killer. I thought I'd go something festive as we're coming up to Christmas.
Why not?
Egghead like this book ain't work.
Nerd
yeah.
who reads books.
The Santa Killer, very intellectual. I'm sure
it
it's
by?
going to. I can't remember the name of the author now.
All right.
It's on Spotify. He's written a
Cool.
load of books. It's the one where
Alright.
there's loads of serial killers in one particular part of the UK. I don't think it happens in real life, but they're all right. They're not a bad. I listen to them in the car on the way to work. So you know what I mean. I
Cool.
class it as
Yeah.
reading, but really I'm listening.
Hey, you know what? A lot of English teachers these days are like, there is no difference between reading a book on paper and listening to an audiobook. I mean, I think there's a difference, but it's still a form of. I mean,
I
it's
think your
consuming the
brain
story.
takes it in a different way. To,
Yeah, of course. But I don't cast shade on that. Like that's cool. You know, you're.
I do read
experiencing
as well.
books.
I have been making my way through Imagica by Clive Barker for a long
Okay.
time now.
He knows how to tell
love-
a story.
Oh, I love Clive Barker. Weave World's one of my favorite books ever written.
Yeah. Chinny's the
Such a great
outcast.
book.
He's not reading any books right now.
I am.
Loser, Chinny.
I
Oh
am.
shit! I take it back. Are you still reading that Zen and
No,
the Art of
No, it's how
Snooker
he's
or whatever
reading
it was?
How to Make a Million Before I'm 40. That's what
How
he's
to
I'm ready.
unclog your piles in your butt?
I am. Well,
Yeah.
I finished that book about the inner game of golf
Okay.
and how
there
to
you go.
unclog your piles. I'm
I
gonna start.
apologize for accusing you of not reading.
I'm gonna start this one, which is called the Mind Management thing by Professor
Yeah.
Steve
Oh,
Peters.
yeah.
So it's like
Okay.
it's about like it's called the chimp paradox. So it's
Okay.
about how
Infinite
we all
number of
have
typewriters.
like a chimp in our brain that tells us like,
Mm.
oh, you shouldn't be doing this, you shouldn't be doing that, you're shit,
Right.
your mum's shit, you know, whatever. And it's about how like that part of the brain has evolved from when we were apes and we were always like
Mm.
on guard and all
Yeah,
that
yeah.
sort of shit.
Funny, I don't have a chimp voice in my head. I have our dog that I speak through the dog. He calls me Stupid Eric, and he's always like, "Why don't you wash the dishes? Why don't you take out the trash? You stupid Eric." you
Yeah,
never
well, it's
think
the
No, that's
same.
your-
It's the same.
That's your
same thing,
wife,
yeah.
Duke.
No, the
Sorry.
Duchess often argues with the dog. It's like, Tito, why don't you be nice to Eric? Because he's so stupid. So it's this weird dynamic where I'm arguing with the dog, and then the Duchess argues with the dog, and it's all just everyone arguing with me.
And how is the dog?
He's all right. He was sick last week. Well, he wasn't sick. He started peeing on the floor, and so the Duchess was trying to make dinner. Everything was chaotic, and I had to go run and take care of it. Was that last week or was that the week before? I can't.
That was the
remember.
week before.
Oh, okay. Well, anyway, he's been a little ill with his stomach. We ran out of antacids for him, and apparently we thought, he seems to be doing okay. And then he started puking again. So we're like, we gotta get him antacids.
Nice.
We got him back on it. He seems to be holding the food down now. So fingers crossed, I'll be able to do the whole show and not have to go run.
Well,
away
let's
and
hope
help.
so. We was like,
Let's
Duke
hope
just
so.
disappeared. It's like, where's he gone?
Poor little fella.
Gone. Gone.
Poor
Yeah,
chap.
people are reading Neil Gaiman. Darren Sims reading Neil Gaiman in the chat.
I've read
Cordy
that.
Boudreaux
It's
just
quite
put
cool,
nothing.
actually.
He just put a blank comment in the chat. That's weird. I wonder why he would put just nothing in the chat.
He hasn't.
Yeah,
He's
it's just a
put-
blank line. There's nothing there.
It's just
That's such a
blank, isn't
weird
it?
thing.
There's
Why would you
nothing
do
there.
that? Yeah.
That is a weird-
Anyway, does anybody have a story time?
I'm back at work. Can I just say?
Okay, this sounds like a story time.
My favorite time. It's story time. Story time.
Switch between the two of them. You never know.
Yeah,
which one.
7 weeks off sick. First time I've ever been
Yeah.
off sick. I thought I'd
Yeah.
do it properly, you know, none of this just like fucking pretend flu or something. You know
You
what I
have
mean?
a good reason to have been.
I had a
off, yes.
proper job, did a proper job of being off sick. But
Yeah.
I feel fine. I was fine at work. I've been like 3 times
Good.
this week now. 3 times into
Yeah.
work. No
Okay.
real issues. So
I'm glad to hear.
all
it.
good so far.
Well, that's good news,
Cool.
Stu.
It's
That's good
news.
news.
I'm feeling good, people.
Hooray!
No idea when I'm going to see an actual specialist, but other than that, I'm feeling
Okay.
fine.
Well, if you're on the
It's good that you
NHS,
don't
mate,
need
that
one
could
in
be
a urgent.
that could be
It could be a long time.
your,
Could be
your
a long time.
grandkids seeing it on your behalf. Like, you know, what I mean? It's-
That might be what happens.
yeah.
That might be what happens at the moment because it seems to be taking a long ass time.
Apparently.
Yeah.
For
there
the
you go.
record, I have a quick story. I have a letter from the future.
Oh.
Ooh.
I realized I was looking through some old files at school and I came across this letter I had written to the Duchess. And I was like, what is this? And I read it and I realized it was this writing assignment that I had given my students and that I also did it because I often will do whatever I tell the students to do. So it's this thought experiment. Imagine that there's a draft happening now, the U.S. military, because we had read The Things They Carried, which is by Tim O'Brien, very good book about the Vietnam War. And in the book, he contemplates running off to Canada to avoid the draft. So I tell the students, okay, imagine there's a draft on today and you run off to Canada to avoid the draft. I want you to write a letter to a loved one from Canada, you know, explaining how you miss them. So I did that, and it's a sort of hypothetical future scenario. And I won't read the whole letter, but there's one part where I said, I wish I could, be a conscientious objector and serve my prison sentence with my head held high instead of running to Canada. But I don't think I'm strong enough for that. From what I understand, you don't get to play the latest video games in the big house. And I'm really into this Elder Scrolls 6 game that just came out. Brackets, Half-Life 3 was a big letdown, but I digress. So I just thought that was funny. I saw it. I'm like,
I see what you
hey,
did
I made a
there.
video game joke, and it was very funny. And I thought people would enjoy hearing that. So,
That's a
apparently-
really
joke,
that's a really depressing
Great.
assignment.
well, that's all my assignments.
Yeah, it's like imagine this like
Yeah.
thing happens where you have to flee and not talk to
Oh,
your
yeah.
loved ones. And they write a
Uh-huh.
letter. I was like, sorry, sir,
Uh-huh.
I'm too busy crying.
Okay, first of all, Chinny,
Here,
it's
I've got-
so cute. It's adorable that you think any student would ever call me sir.
Okay, well we did it at our
Thanks,
school.
just
in this
so
country,
cute. Yeah.
that's
Hey, asshole, I'm
normal.
too busy
That is
crying.
normal.
Yeah,
Well, yeah.
Sir
Well, guess
and
what?
miss
Not in
it
this
is
goddamn
in
country.
British schools.
Yeah. Well.
yeah.
Sir and miss.
Anyway.
I've
so-
got a joke. Do you want to hear a joke?
Oh, I love a
Joke.
joke. Go
Wanna
ahead.
hear a
Let's hear it.
joke?
Yeah.
I know you like a joke. Here you go. What's the difference between in-laws and outlaws?
In-laws and
Uh,
outlaws. You get in trouble if you shoot an outlaw?
No. Well, you wouldn't, would you?
I mean, maybe you wouldn't.
But that's
okay,
not
right.
the joke. Here.
All right. What's the joke? Go ahead. I give up.
Outlaws are wanted.
Hey,
Outlaws are wanted.
hey, I tell you what, I know
there you
those
go.
Peter
Nobody
Kay
wants
tickets
an
are on
in-law,
sale,
there you go.
Stu, but they got you for free.
I've got
Yeah.
one. Oh, that's
Oh,
a
yeah.
story. We got some tickets.
No, it's
by the
not.
way.
You bought tickets
Oh,
for
We
a
got
show,
tickets.
and that's not. A
Hey, here's a
story.
chance for me to sing
Millie,
my song
no,
because he's
here's-
not just going to tell us
No,
that
there
he
is a
bought tickets.
story.
Yeah, there is a story, of course. But
No,
first,
there's a
I will
story
do
behind
my
it.
intro song for Stu's story. You ready? Here we go. This came to me this week when
Here
I
we
was
go.
driving to school. Stingy Stuart, Stuart the stingy lad. He's not paid full price for anything he's ever had. He must be a stingy fucker. He don't want to be a sucker. So me and you will listen as Stu tells a story about how he saved £2 on some bullshit because he's such a cheapskate.
No, there's no saving money on Peter Kay tickets, by the way.
No. there's no
Ah,
saving
man, I
it.
thought I was setting it up perfectly. But that's a
No,
pretty
you
good
weren't.
song, you must admit.
Well,
pretty good.
Millie, it wasn't me. It was Millie and her boyfriend, right? And they were fucking had
Don't
about
worry,
10...
I have a recorded version of that. I'll play it later.
Great. I can't wait.
Yeah.
They had about 10 devices going at once to try and get tickets, right?
Wow, that's
And-
intense.
And when Adam, her boyfriend, started off, he was 97,000th in the queue.
Oh,
Yeah.
good
You know,
grief.
normally you go to the doctors and you get pissed off when he goes, "You are number 10
Yeah.
in the queue."
Just so,
Yeah.
for context,
90s
by the way, Stu is talking about Peter Kay, who's a British comedian. He was big in the early noughties. He did a sitcom, and he did a few tours, but then sort of quite famously sort of just disappeared from touring comedy. He did a few shows on TV. He's done like some like car sort of thing, and he's been around, but he's not really been as dominant as say like a Ricky Gervais or anything.
No, he's barely been around. He's been a bit of a recluse, really.
Yeah.
He did Car Share was the last thing.
Car Share was his sort of big thing. He did that X Factor
Max
thing
and
where he
Patty's
was
Road to
and the
Nowhere.
X Factor. No, that was before that. The X Factor.
Right, I
parody
know. I'm
thing.
just saying.
That was
he's just
terrible.
reading. He's just reading Wikipedia.
Cradle
So
to
Oh,
Grave.
he is. Yeah, just
Um,
ignore Duke. He knows nothing about Peter Kay.
so and
Of course
and
I do. I know he won the
and
BAFTA TV
Peter
award
Kay
for Best
is
Male Comedy.
very
He's 20
popular amongst scum, or Northerners, as some people call them, because he's from there. So yeah, he's they
He
love
got
him up there.
famous. Part of the reason he got famous was for being infamous. I don't know whether you were aware of this, Chinny.
Go on.
Because
I thought he got famous for that Peter Kay thing and Phoenix Nights, but
He
you know, do correct.
He won,
kinda
like, a
did.
comedy.
Kinda
He
did.
definitely
That is
did.
true.
He definitely
And
did.
he also won the award at the Edinburgh Fringe Festival for Best Comedian. But
Yeah.
he also was courted controversy in his early career because he was a warm-up guy, and he did the warm-up for the National Television Awards not long after Jill Dando was killed. And it was probably about 6 months, 7 months after she was murdered.
So Jill
he-
Dando was a news presenter that got murdered on her front doorstep because apparently she looked like Princess Diana, and this guy was fascinated
But
by
they
people that
never
way.
found the killer, did they?
They
I
never
think
found the killer,
framed
yeah.
someone or whatever. Anyway, so he thought it was a good idea when he went to the BBC Television Awards doing the warm-up before the show started to tell a joke about Jill Dando.
Yes. This,
And
Of course,
this
you
is...
want to be as outrageous as possible. That's the only way to be funny,
The
right?
joke
Is to make
was-
Well, let
Holy
me hear the joke, because I don't know if it's because there's jokes and there's jokes.
Right, okay, I'll tell you.
Is there
the
any
joke.
way it could possibly be in good taste or like?
It is
No,
not. in
no,
good
Peter
taste,
Kay's a
right?
good comedian though, dude.
He
He's-
is.
I'm not saying he's not a good comedian.
He
I'm
got-
saying even good comedians choose the wrong time to make the wrong
He
joke.
got the front page of the papers for this joke, right? And the joke was, "What's black and white and starving?"
Go on.
I don't know what.
Jill Dando's cat, right?
Yes.
That was the joke.
Yeah.
Or,
That's
or
the
jokes to that
joke.
effect. That was the joke.
Suck the
and,
pain.
yeah,
I
he-
don't
he-
like
he
like
didn't get much
pre,
of a
like
laugh.
pre-Twitter and these days, like that ain't that bad.
No, probably
it's a
not.
tasteless
But back in them
joke.
days,
It's a.
ooh.
I mean, look, you can think it's funny, and I'm not saying it's not funny, but
And
it is a
then, no.
tasteless joke.
Yeah.
And here's the other question though: how long after her murder was this joke told?
Probably about 7 months. Only about
Well,
7 months. And then he
I
did a
mean,
follow-up line though, because
Tragedy plus
nobody
time
laughed.
equals comedy. Okay.
Yeah.
Nobody laughed, obviously. And his follow-up line was, "What's the matter with you all? She's been dead for 7 months."
Yeah.
Yeah.
See, you know what, dude? Keep digging that hole for yourself. That's really classic.
Well, like comedians take risks. You know, that's what they do. They
He didn't
take
do him
risks.
any
I
harm.
know.
Can we just say he didn't do him any harm?
No, he's doing very well.
Yeah, he didn't do him
Peter
any
Kay.
harm.
But like Phoenix Nights for me is pretty iconic, and Peter Kay is a very sort of particular fellow about his comedy. He's very precious about it because a lot of sitcoms in the UK, Duke, get repeated quite a lot on these channels. So there's a channel
Yeah.
called like Gold, and
Yeah,
basically every British sitcom's on there. But Phoenix
Well,
Nights
there's only
is very
7 of them, so you know. Yeah.
so Phoenix Nights is very difficult to watch again because
Okay.
he didn't want it to be quite as disposable as like Only Fools and Horses or The Office or like some of these classic. And he said that because
We
you
will
can
talk
watch,
about video games, by the way, people.
Yeah,
Don't
we
worry. At
will.
some point, it'll happen.
Yeah,
We
that's
won't just-
boring.
We're not just going to talk about comedians.
No, this is
Somebody's
also
listening to the
Play
show
Power
going,
Wash
can't
Simulator.
wait for this God of War chat. I was like, we're talking
Yeah,
about
oh,
Only
yeah.
Fools and fucking horses. So yeah, he's very particular about how his comedy is out there. So and I think he's
Yeah.
done well from being like that. Do you know what I mean? He's
Oh,
he-
definitely.
he
Well,
hones
Wu-Tang
his
Clan
craft
did well
very
by
well.
making
He's
it,
very
yeah.
particular about it. So
So,
yeah.
so here's the thing. So we did manage to get. Well, Millie managed to get.
well, he's doing a
tickets.
12 months residency, Stu. So there'll be
Well, he
tickets.
is, but it's longer than that. Do you know when we're going to see him?
Yeah, go on.
16 years from now.
May the 18th, 2024.
Yeah, well, but what I'll do,
Wow. You
Stu,
gotta
what
tell
I'll
us when we're
do,
going
to
a year
see
and a
him.
half from now.
I'll
Yeah,
just look. I'll just
18
wait.
months.
I'll wait around a bit, and maybe I'll take your ticket if you don't make it.
I know. Yeah, well, like it was that.
Or
that
maybe you'll
thought
watch,
crossed
uh,
my mind.
You know what
Will
I
I
mean?
get that
Performance
Do you know what I
video.
mean?
Maybe he'll make a movie on Netflix, and then you won't have.
I'll
to go see
text. I'll text Kay and say I'll have the extra one if Stu isn't.
I know.
if
yeah.
Stu isn't around. you know.
This was a funny thing though. Millie afterwards thought, I wonder how many of the people are in the queue now if I go back on. Do you know how many people were in the queue when she went back on?
500.
a lot.
479,000
Yeah.
in the
Good
queue
grief.
she was.
Yeah.
This is how, I mean, this dude is just ridiculous. Do you know how
I
much
mean,
I've
I can't think of a single comedian I would wait that kind of time to see.
I've seen him twice, right?
Okay.
In concert. I've seen both his tours.
Yeah.
I saw the very first one. Do you know how much the ticket cost on the very first time I saw him?
£5.
Fiver, yeah.
You were close. £6.50 it cost at the Charter
Oh,
Theatre in
dude.
Preston.
Yeah.
And it was
Yeah.
one of the best comedy shows I've ever seen. His second, the Bungalow Tour, I could take it or leave it, to be honest. So I'm a
Oh, he's
little
too.
bit
He's
like,
too good for the
So
popular
that-
tour, Duke. He's too good for the popular one.
I guess so.
He was
you
good
know, I saw
before he went
Radiohead with three
commercial.
people.
It was definitely
one of their
funnier the
first shows
first
ever,
time.
man.
But
I think you're
here's the
lying,
thing, right?
Grandpa.
If he tells a joke he's told before, I'll be very upset because it's like he's had fucking plenty of time to get some new material. You know what I mean? If he
Yeah.
starts going on about garlic bread, I'm going to throw a banana at him.
Yeah.
Just
Hot
saying.
Pockets.
Anyway, we got to stop talking about Penny
Anyway,
Kay.
Yes,
Yeah, we do.
on to the video games. Any other story time? No? Okay, great. We're ready to move on.
Where are you going? Story time's over, isn't it?
What you been playing?
Come on, come on, come on.
What you been playing?
Really? Really?
What you been playing?
Ian in the chat says evening. Soul Brother in the
Evening.
chat says what's good, dudes.
Yeah.
Lots of stuff is good. Video games are good.
Yeah. Yeah, they
The
are.
big one.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Anyway, is that
Who's
it? We
going
done?
first? I'm going
I don't
first
know.
this time. No,
Go on,
I
you go
never go
first. I
first
don't
lately.
care.
I'm
Go
going
first.
this
Go
time.
first.
Okay, do
There's
it.
I got a letter from the future. Wait, I already did that. Rocket League. There's nothing
Yeah.
Yeah,
to say.
really.
The season's gonna end soon. They told us what our rewards are for the season. It's a banner with a diamond on it. Garbage.
Who
Why?
fucking gives a shit?
Steam
Yeah.
has Marvel Snap.
Ooh.
Oh,
I played
no.
Marvel Snap.
Now you're talking my language.
Yeah, and so I
You don't
installed
like
it and I
it.
played it, and
And
I
then you
gotta no,
deleted
actually, you know
it.
what? You know what? I gotta say,
We said meh.
Stop
M-E-H.
it.
Meh.
my
Yeah.
attitude toward this game is meh.
Stop
Do you know,
it.
weirdly,
Um,
I played a game
I wrote it down.
today
Meh.
that I felt just like that.
Meh.
I
There's lots of no. You don't get to jump in with your opinion right now.
Yeah,
You know what I
Kitty, you've
think?
given yours for the last
I'm sorry.
2
I
weeks.
thought this
Hello.
was a discussion forum. Do carry on.
No.
It will be after I say what I think.
This is Duke's opinion show. Did you not know?
And my opinion is, meh. There's lots of strategy, and my brain is so tired. So it's like,
Oh, my poor
This-
brain. My
this
poor brain. I'll
location
teach you all week.
will-
Shut up.
Shut the fuck up.
I've been
This
grading
location
papers.
will,
We got him.
this location will take 2/3 of your power and move it to the other location.
Yeah.
If you don't have Spider-Man there, and then on this one, if you set it up, your next turn will be +3 for Hulk. All this, I don't want to do all that math.
Yeah.
So I get it. It has to be more than just play some cards with numbers on them.
Yes.
But it's just it was so exhausting trying to keep up with what I was doing. And I won my first actual match against another person, which felt pretty good. But then
Yeah.
I realized, like, how did I win? I was like, I don't know. I was just kind of randomly putting cards down.
Just hope you put a
So I
card in
played
the right
again,
place.
and I lost bad. And I was like, oh.
Why
guess
did
that
I
person
lose? I have no idea.
No, I know why. It's because, as Chinny said, like, they knew what I was gonna do, and then I realized, okay, I was winning on the left lane or whatever the fuck you call it, and I was like, aha, at least I have that one, and I think I'm gonna win the middle one. And then I didn't realize he had 3 out of 4 cards. I didn't realize 4 was the max. So I was going to play something else on the left to shore up the left, but I couldn't because I already had 4 cards down. And then he had a blank spot. So he put something that took him from 7 points to 500 points. And then that ricocheted throughout the other areas. And he just crushed me with so I was, okay, I need to know what all the cards are, know which one of the dumb ones to not play,
Yeah.
and
It's
it's about knowing the game. And it's about knowing the game, and that's all games.
Yes.
Like there's very few games you could just pick up and just start playing and understand it all very quickly. And that's the problem. Is I went in thinking like, oh, I'll be able to master this, and of course I'm not.
No. Look, for me, Marvel Snap is very, very easy to sort of like just have a go at. You know, kind of like how Street Fighter is like a very skilled fighting game, but if you want to button bash, you can button bash. So if you just want to drag cards into a lane and give it a go, you can fluke a few wins. You know what I mean? It's not like impossible.
Well,
to do.
what's the fun in fluking a few wins?
Just, I suppose, to get your training wheels on. Do you know what I mean? Just to sort of get used to it a little bit.
I just feel like, you see, I see that and I think, what's the point? Because if I don't really know how to play it and I fluke a win, I'll be like, I don't even know why I won.
Because you might pick up one of the mechanics during that fluke win, and then you could use it next time. Oh, I see what that did. And I mean, that was kind of how it was working for my first few games. And then I realized, and this isn't really related to the fact that I'm not going to play it anymore, but there's these red exclamation points. Like, hey, there's a thing in this menu. There's one for the store and one for the season pass. Those never go away, do they?
Yeah, because they're the red. Yeah, because like the you click them and
really hurts my soul.
You unlock. No, you can unlock them and stop.
Go away.
They do.
Well, okay. Well, I went looking in those menus to figure out what to make it stop with the red exclamation point. I couldn't figure it out.
Yeah, you definitely do. Because I do it all the time. Every turn I do it. Yeah.
All right. Well, fair enough.
So
anyway, I mean, look, I can see the appeal. I understand that, you know, it would be, I think it might be more fun to people who know more about Marvel, maybe. Because I'm like, oh, Hulk, I know the Hulk. And then there's all these other people. I never heard of any of these people. And it just,
Quicksilver? You've never heard of Quicksilver?
No, I don't know no Quicksilver.
What about Medusa? Have you heard of Medusa?
I know Batman.
Mr. Fantastic. Yeah. You must have heard of Mr. Fantastic.
What about Mr. Boombastic? Have you heard of Mr. Boombastic?
Mr. Fantastic.
Well, I know Shabba Ranks, if that's what you're talking about.
I think he's a card in Marvel Snap.
I know Superman.
Yeah, he is. Yeah.
Yeah, I think Duke's trying to get me to like snap and go, but that's DC. But I really don't.
It's Marvel Snap.
Yeah. So.
See what I did?
Yeah.
So anyway, whatever. Like, it's okay. It's not a bad game by any means. It's just not for me. I don't.
I think what I was going to say before you went off on your like I want to talk sort of thing. Was I would struggle to play this sitting at my desk. Do you know what I mean? Like,
yeah, I think this is
this is
a
game
mobile
time.
phone game.
Yeah, this is. I play this when I'm having a shit.
Yeah, but I mean
whatever.
that's fine. I've played the Governor of Poker 3, and that's obviously a phone game. I played Monument Valley on my PC. That's obviously a phone game. Like, I don't think that makes much of a difference to me.
I kind of know what Chinny means. I must admit, I do understand where he's coming from. Whereas you do, I don't think you see it.
You don't think I see Chinny's point?
No, I don't think. No,
let me ask this question.
No. What I don't think you see is the appeal of playing this game when you're doing a big shit. I just don't think you see it.
Well, I can understand that being appealing. I don't think I would find it more fun in the toilet than I do in front of my computer.
I don't know. If you were pushing a big one out and you won a game at the same time.
You've got to do it, haven't you? You've got to do it.
Pretty satisfying, not surely.
Maybe I should
it's
try
a double
that. I'm not going to.
Satisfaction.
Okay.
When I go to the bathroom, it tends to be Duolingo in the morning, reading books, and occasionally, if I don't want to concentrate on a book or a narrative, I'll just look at Twitter or something.
But I think, like taking a shit is not the only time I play this game. But I sometimes,
according to Stu, it is.
He gave that impression.
But when you have a few minutes with your phone, when you just gotta I gotta use my phone now. So
So instead of making that important business call, what Chinny does is plays Marvel Snap.
Yes, important.
What do
all
you think
of us are making very important business
calls all the time
while I'm taking a shit.
Well, you do run a company, so maybe occasionally you do.
I'll bring you the contracts next week.
I just said do, by the way. Yeah. I'm just phoning about this important filming job I've got to do at your place next week, but I'm just going to put you on hold while I play Marvel Snap. I'll be back in a second.
And that, ladies and gentlemen, is how business is done.
It is.
We are business.
Yeah,
You
folk.
assume that I do calls now, Stu.
Treat them mean, keep them keen, Chinny. That's the philosophy.
What
of
do
that.
you text your clients?
You,
Is that what it is?
no, you assume I do calls.
I do assume you may talk to clients from
I
time to
don't.
time. Who knows?
I don't.
He's the boss. He doesn't have to talk to the clients. He's
I
got
get-
I don't know. He
insurance for that
might
shit.
do. Who
Matt and
knows?
I-
That's it. He
Matt-
had The Apprentice. They just won the award.
No,
Like,
Matt
you
and I
talk to
have
the fuck-
people that do that for us now.
Yeah, exactly.
Good God, I tell you, this company's too big.
You honestly, if you came to our office now, you'd be like, "You fucking."
It started off
chat."
Does
as
the,
this
Stu, does
little
the director
company-
of your program that you work for, does he do like sweep the floors? No.
No, but Chinny's like, he's not directing a massive countrywide company, is he? Let's be fair.
Well,
Yeah, but with
it's
there's
a
10 of us
countrywide
now.
company.
There's 10 of us
Yeah.
now.
I
He's
know.
got some employees.
Yeah,
got
he's gotta
some,
have-
there's
to
a
have health and
benefit to
safety
being the
and all
boss.
sorts of stuff
And
now.
one of them is, fuck
Toilets.
you clients, talk to my assistant.
I have to have HR, which is funny because I
Yeah.
don't tell them the number for it.
He has to have HR.
I just
HR.
go, we do have an HR department, but no one knows the number, so fuck you.
That's
someone gets-
suspicious.
If someone gets repetitive strain injury from filming all the time, he'll have to send them to occupational health.
Yeah.
Just saying.
What a
Wow.
what a gag. Lord in the chat
I know, yeah.
says, evening veterans. Darren says, I
up?
like the jokes he does when he plays a song and changes the words. He's talking about Peter Kay. That's very good. So keep the chat
Yeah.
going. Keep the chat
Yeah.
alive. Keep chatting to us. Keep chat,
Yeah.
chat.
Even though there's nothing else for me to say about Marvel Snap, we're gonna move on. Someone else is gonna talk about a game now.
Yeah, I'm going to talk about a game, right?
Go ahead.
Because a plague trail, a plague trail,
I played
a
Trail.
plague
Ah,
trail
you said the
Requiem.
wrong word. We were
Right.
talking
Stu.
about changing the words.
What
Ah,
are
yes.
you like?
Change the
Stu,
title of
really,
the
man.
bloody
There's
game.
no
Bloody
game called Plague
hilarious
Trail.
show.
I think it actually might sound better because that's
Yeah.
kind of what you're doing. Plague trail, innit?
Yo.
You're
Trail
following
of
the fucking
plagues.
trail of the plagues.
Yo, don't
I
stop
think-
saying bloody funny
Yeah.
things. Yeah, that's
Actually, I
it.
think I've just changed it to a better name. Anyway, here's the thing.
What's the
I
thing?
have played a bit more of this game this week,
Okay, great. I'll go fix
Yeah.
this hangnail.
but Chinny is kind of right.
Yes, I am.
It does start to slow down a little bit. You get a new power though, which is cool.
Which one?
So you get a new rat power, where you can control the rats finally.
Yeah,
Takes
yeah,
a
yeah,
while. It's a
Take a
lot.
while.
I mean, let's be fair. It's a fair way into the game before this happens.
Yeah.
And then that was like a huge feature in the first game. And again, it took a while. But
Yeah.
now when you get to the second game, that power shouldn't take that long to get, I don't think. I think it takes too long.
Well,
to
he
use
sort
power.
of
Much
you
too
go.
long.
He's the worse, the more ill he gets, the more rat bastards he can
Yeah.
control. So as he's progressing through the game, he gets more ill.
And I came across quite a frustrating section of the game as well, which was annoying.
Oh, there's plenty of those.
Oh, which isn't long after that, where you end up in this sort of encampment with loads of guards all over the fucking place. and it's like,
Encampment?
encampment. And it's the first time he goes, use the rats to kill all these guards, right? So he gives you the option to use all these
Yeah.
fucking rats.
Hmm.
But there's not very many of them around, and then when you use them,
No.
you can't use them again. And it's like,
They're a limited
Oh.
resource.
for fuck's sake. And you kill a few dudes, right? And then you've got to sneak through all these washing lines for some reason, right? They've got all the
Yeah.
washing out. Why have they got the washing out? The soldiers, who
Oh.
gives
'Cause
a
they
shit
did
about
the
washing
laundry.
clothes? I don't know.
That's
And then
one way to
you can
keep
creep
plague
through a
rats
house.
from hurting you is
And
to
I kept
have fresh
thinking,
clothes.
So there's a hut, right? And two more guards come out of it. And I'm like, well, that
Is it a
can't be
Pizza
the
Hut?
right way to go. Because presumably guards will keep spawning in that hut, or it's probably not the right way. So I didn't head to it to begin with.
Yeah.
And then that is where you've got to go. So you've got to wait till they've come out. And then there's more guards around to
jeez.
fucking catch you instantly.
Ugh.
And I'm just like, oh my God. And he
That sounds
eventually
pretty
got
frustrating.
there. And there's not very many places to hide. And these guards can see like 1 square centimeter of your body sticking out from behind a rock.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I'm just like, oh my fucking God.
You want to never play this game.
It's not that I never want to play this game again, right? I am enjoying the game. I am being quite harsh on it here.
Wow,
Well,
sounds like a very
oh,
frustrating moment.
If that's not there's quite a few of these frustrating sections now, and it's starting to get annoying.
Hmm.
And it's like, it took me I bet it took me 7 or 8 goes to get to that fucking hut to escape.
Yeah.
And I'm just like, like the minute you get seen, there is no. You do occasionally, if you run fast enough and get into somewhere to hide, you can escape, but it's few and far between. The vast majority of times, you just get overcrowded with loads of guards, and then you're dead.
Hmm.
And I'm just like, ugh. So I am continuing, but I'll be honest. I played another game this week, which also I'm going to talk about.
Listeners, this is Stu getting distracted and he'll never finish that game. Go on.
I know there is a chance. Well, I'll not finish it anytime soon because I'm telling you what, the other game I'm going to talk about fucking makes you realise how good games are.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah, it does. So I'll pass over to you, Chinny, because I'll come back to that in a minute.
Well, I've also been playing A Plague's Tale Requiem, which is the sequel to A Plague's Tale, whatever the first one was called.
Innocence.
Innocence.
For a Dream.
To innocence.
Yes, and I finished it
Way.
because I finish games.
I'm going to finish it, I promise.
Well done, Chinny.
So,
Glad someone's finishing something.
if someone said to me, which one is your favourite, the first one or the second one? My answer would be the first one. The first one is the
Ooh.
better one, I believe. Reasons. I think 2 is good. I think it's very good. It's a very good game. However, the first one just has this like really what's the word? Satisfying, rewarding progression of powers. Would you agree, Stu? You're playing
Yeah,
the first one
definitely.
and you can do this, but it'd be really useful if I could do that. And then the next level, it's like, but now you can do that. And then the next level, now you can do this other thing that you didn't think of. Whereas the first half of A Plague's Tale Requiem, which is roughly where Stu is now, you do get those powers, and then they just stop giving you stuff. And then it becomes very, very story heavy. Very, very, lots of downtime, lots of levels where you're just walking around on a boat talking to people. Do you know what I mean? Lots
You
of
see,
like,
I find that interesting. Because
yeah,
up till
but
this
like
point, there's
it
been a
kills
lot of stealthy
kills the
shit.
pace of the game. It puts a brakes on the pace. There's like 2-3 hours where you don't really do anything, and there's a lot of that and a lot of walking around this fucking island and oh yeah, there's a fucking thing here and it's all about the kids and the young boy will return and all this, and the ending is.
Won't somebody please think of the children?
I hate. This is very common in video games. I hate trippy endings, like weird dream sequence.
You don't even know what happened, man. Like what is reality?
Like you go into a smoke and then like some weird dream sequence where there's land flying off in the distance. Do you know what I mean? Like this
I'm with you.
happens
I know exactly what you mean.
all
I'm
the
with you
time.
on that. Fuck that
all
shit.
the time
Tell
in
me,
video games.
look, if it's constitutive of the basic nature of the game, like Dishonored has a bunch of moments where you're like going to some floating island area. Okay, then the ending can have some weird ass trippy shit in it. But if it's a normal game for most of it, and then the final part is this weird trippy bullshit, get out of my face with that.
Yeah, there's that at the end. I don't like it, and I didn't really think the ending was very good. However, the story's pretty good. The story's interesting, and they do some interesting things with it. When I say the story's good, it ain't gonna win any awards for like being. It's not Citizen Kane or anything, but like it's which I don't think
And
is
even
very-
that, like,
No,
I mean,
no, that to be
my
honest.
sled.
Okay, let me tell you. Okay, it's not Back to the Future or anything, right? So there you go.
Okay,
There's a
there
good
you
start.
go. Yeah. Right. So no one
but-
tries to fuck their mom, huh?
Yeah, no one tries to like get off with their mom at their prom.
Okay. Well, then why should I play this then?
Yeah, exactly. But it's good. It's well performed. It's well acted. It's very good to look at. Nice looking game. It wraps up well in terms of like what the story does. I just hate trippy ending. You know those trippy dream sequence endings. I hate them.
Yeah.
I think it's an absolute get out of jail card, like just to kind of be weird for
It sure
weird's
wasn't.
sake.
Yeah, it sure wasn't Far Cry 5. Like,
Yeah, it's just
they use
they're
that a
just
lot in the Far
so
Cry games. Oh, you're
shite,
drugged
and
now, you're on
they are
drugs.
not good. I remember like Mark of the Ninja did one, and I remember it really bothering me in that, and that's like a 2D ninja game. And I was like, why? Like, why? Just give me like a cool ending, like a cool boss. Like that would have been enough. But yeah, in terms of gameplay, it's not as strong as the first one. In terms of story, I'd say it's pretty good, maybe even a little bit better than the first one. And yeah, it's ambitious. I think it's just maybe shooting out of a little bit above its head in terms of how ambitious it is. It's not quite there like where with The Last of Us and stuff where it wants to be. And it does give you an interesting sort of insight of where they could go as well for a next one. So overall, I liked it. I think A Plague's Tale Requiem is really, really worthy of a playthrough. If you like your story-based single-player games, and it's a stealth game as well, yeah, I think this is worth your time. Definitely play the first one first if you haven't played that one. But it's a very sort of different pace of a game. So it not as good as the first, but I enjoyed it. Glad I played it. A Plague Tale Requiem.
Interesting. But yeah, I am going to persevere, even though I have been frustrated.
Yeah, I'll be
I'll
interested
believe
to hear your
when I see
take
it.
on what I've just went through. Yeah,
I just think I get why they do stuff, right, and they want to improve AI. You know what I mean, to make it more realistic. But fuck me, it doesn't have to piss you off when one starts fucking poking in the grass that you're hiding in.
yeah.
It's like, for God's sake, can you just give me a second to get some other cover? And the minute you break cover, obviously you're fucked. And I'm just like, and there's nothing. It's sometimes the patch of grass isn't big enough. Do you know what I mean? To hide in a different part of it, and it's just like, ugh.
It does feel
God.
like you just lacking one tool than you need. Do you know what I
And
mean?
quite
Like
oft-
you
you
need
see,
one
why
more little
haven't-
thing.
Like, do you know what I feel like it's missing? You can only use a distraction if there's some, one of those shiny pots and pans things that you can fire a
Yeah.
thing at.
The
It
rocks
just
from
needed just to
Far Cry.
chuck a rock somewhere.
Well, you can chuck a pot.
Yeah, I know, but you have to pick those up. If you haven't got one to hand, you're screwed.
Yeah, you should be able to like take a rock with you and just have a pile of rocks
Yeah,
in your
so
pocket.
I'll have
and then just flick
rocks
'em at a tree or
readily
something.
available for us,
Yeah,
like some sort of
right.
distraction.
Or
Yeah.
a dead rat. You could
I
just.
just
fly-
feel
fling a
like
rat
I
in the
feel
water.
like they've obviously got this game based primarily on stealth a lot of the time, but they haven't quite got the stealth mechanics sussed. Do you know what I mean? Or haven't got.
I mean, it
there's
sounds like
no-
Chinny got them sorted.
No. I mean, the
I'm
game
good at games,
developers.
though. I'm good at
People
games.
who are
Yes.
not
There's
terrible.
a million game developers who've done stealth games, and there's things they do that this doesn't do.
To Stu's credit, Duke, it does feel like you're lacking one. Like you could do with one more
Yeah,
tool.
oh, sure, I believe.
Do you know what I
it.
mean? Like
Just
one
take the piss
more,
out of Stu.
like you've got a slingshot, you've got some pots
Right.
that you can put some bits and bobs in. You've got tar, which is like a really useful liquid because you
Yep.
throw tar in a pot and then you put it on someone, then it creates like a sticky sort of patch, and then if they walk on it, you can just set them on fire, which is really so you got like interesting gameplay elements, but it's almost like they're just lacking one more little like
I hear
notch on the wheel that like with a little thing that you can play with. But yeah,
Yep.
it's yeah,
It is decent. I mean, these are minor criticisms.
they are yeah.
Yep.
The minor criticisms. It's still a decent game. It's got great voice acting. It looks very pretty compared to the first
Yep.
game. It's a much better looking game. But you're right. I do feel like that you could have just done with one more thing just to help with the stealth.
Yep.
Because I'm shit at stealth most of the time, and it's quite unforgiving.
It is very.
Yeah.
I died a lot. I died a lot
Yeah,
in this game.
and you're good at stealth games. I'm not. I'm terrible at them.
Mm-hmm.
Do you know what I mean? And I feel like it just for someone like me, it just needed something.
really suck.
Yeah, it stopped me sucking quite so much, but still felt like rewarding.
I just
Dunno.
at this point I don't even go near stealth games. I don't enjoy them. I'm not good at them. I just forget it.
Yeah. So anyway,
I'm glad you
Duke,
like it.
what else
So
have
anyway,
you been playing?
I've played some more Guild Wars 2, and this is so. I guess this is stupid of me, but it still feels stupid. So I mentioned last time that I didn't have a glider, right? And so you have to gain XP to unlock your glider. Okay, fine. So there was this part of the map that I had started to open up, and then I went to do the playing with other people in a different part of the map. So I was like, okay, I'll go back to the part of the map I had been exploring before, and I'm getting XP, and I go to look to see how close I am to the glider thing, and it's right where it was. And I'm like, wait a minute, I thought I was getting XP to unlock my glider. And I put in the chat for this group I was playing with, the Dragons, whatever it is, Comfy Dragons Den. I go, why am I not getting XP? And they go, well, you're doing stuff. You have your glider selected. I'm like, yes. And they're like, well, what have you been doing? I'm like, well, trying to explore this part of the map. And they're like, no. In order to get glider XP for the DLC, you have to do activities in the DLC part of the map. And I was like, oh, for fuck's sake. So I go back to that part of the map, and I'm wandering around, and there's all these areas. It's like there's a vista over here, Okay, so I go toward where the Vista, it's telling me the Vista is, and I get to it, and it's like a dead end. And I'm like, what the fuck? And they go, yeah, it's above you. And I'm like, how am I supposed to get up there? And they're like, well, you go over here and do that, and you climb these stairs, and then use your glider to get down to the thing. I'm like, use my glider, motherfucker! Ah! Like, want to destroy something. Like, I don't have a glider. And they're like, oh, you need to unlock your glider. I'm trying to unlock my glider.
Wow,
Fuck.
this
Just
sounds
use
like
your glider, dude.
yeah, just use the
Exactly.
glider, dude. This
You know
sounds
what?
like Catch 22.
You know, it's
Damn,
really.
it is.
I've read some instructions actually about Guild Wars 2, and there's a really
okay,
good way
cool.
to calm yourself down in the game. And all you need is a
Uninstall it?
glider. All you
Yeah,
need
just
is
a
a glider.
glider, man.
Ah, fuck.
It'll
So it's
smooth
just-
all
I
your
mean, look,
troubles away.
I think here's the thing. Look, the people who have been I'm playing the first DLC that ever came out for Guild Wars 2. They made it complicated because people who have been playing Guild Wars 2 at that point had been playing the game so much. They wanted not just new areas on the map, but as Ginny says about the sequels to a lot of games, you want new stuff. So what they did in this DLC was they unlocked the glider. They gave you mounts.
the
they
gli-
gave
the
you this, they
fabled
gave you that.
glider.
There are these bouncy things that you can bounce on if you've trained.
What,
that-
space hoppers?
Well, kind of. It's like these things that like lift you up. But
I was
when I
joking.
get on them, I jump up and down on them, and it's like you need to train your lifty shroom, whatever it is. And
Oh
I'm
my
like,
god.
fuck.
Fuck this
So it's
game.
like it's just so frustrating because again, like for the most part, it's so good, and then some things about it are just so frustrating. So whatever. Like, here's what I realized.
What did you realize, dude?
In the past, I've mentioned that Western developers, I just gave it away. People who make RPGs aren't making RPGs anymore. They're making MMOs. But JRPGs are still coming out.
Oh,
So
yeah,
what
they
I
are.
need to do is I need to go explore some of the JRPGs because there's one that just came out on Steam. I added it to my wish list, but it's $60, like Valkyrie shit, some shit about Valkyries.
Oh yeah,
Um,
Valkyrie, some shit. That's a weird title for a game.
Valkyrie Elysium is the name of it. But it's $60. I ain't paying no $60, especially because I don't know if I'm going to like it. So I went over to Game Pass. I'm like, I wonder if there's any good JRPGs on the Game Pass. So I downloaded a couple. I played one of them for about an hour. I'll tell you about it in a minute. But that's the latest on my Guild Wars questing. I haven't given up on Guild Wars 2. I'll keep playing it. But I better get that glider soon because, God,
I don't think you're ever getting the glider, dude. Just accept it.
that would be amusing if they were like, just kidding. You don't ever get a glider.
There
Hi."
is no glider. It's
There is
space.
no
There is no cake.
The cake is
There is no
alive.
glider. Crap.
Yeah. So this is why I play Rocket League all the time because I know what I'm getting, and
Yeah,
there's
you're gonna
no
get a
hidden
car,
shit.
get a ball.
There's nothing
double
to try to
jump.
figure out. No new shit. It's just hit the ball into the goal.
To be fair, dude, you played it for a long time, and then double jump was new shit to you.
Well, yeah, but now I've got it all mastered,
Got it all mastered.
or I know what there is
Uh,
to master at least. I mean, I never get
yeah, you
aerials
do.
really down, but whatever.
So,
Yeah. So Stu,
should we
is it back
talk
to you?
about the everyone played game this week?
Well,
think
let
we
just
should
Darren
talk-
Sib in the chat said, "Did you
didn't
play
play it.
Elden Ring, Stu?
Of course I did. for
If you
10
did,
minutes.
just if you did, I was just wondering what your opinion for Game of the Year would be at this point."
Wow. It's funny you should ask that question.
And
Here
Jacinta,
we go.
Jacinta said, "Duke, I don't think you will like current JRPGs."
You know what? There's only
Oh.
one way to find out.
There's only one way to find out. Do you know, I'll be honest with you, that it's the weirdest game I played this year, but Immortality is do you know, that would have been up there had I figured out the mechanics of the game earlier.
What,
Mhm.
I
sorry,
think.
Immortality. What?
The San Barlo game.
The one where he's got to watch those 3 films.
Well, you got to
Oh,
watch
right,
3
right,
films
sorry,
and then
sorry,
piece
sorry,
what the
sorry. I
hell
got
out,
you.
try
Yeah,
to figure
yeah,
out
okay,
what the
fine.
hell happened.
Yeah, I got you. I got you.
And I do think, I genuinely believe I can see the fucking skill and artistry and time and effort that went into making that game. But if like me, you manage to miss the mechanic that you need to figure out to find out what the hell's going on in the game, I don't know whether it's the game's fault or me just being stupid. I'm not entirely sure at this point. I don't know.
Yeah, it
I
could
really
be either.
don't know.
Yeah.
But I think had I figured out that mechanic sooner, I think I would have had a much more fulfilling experience of playing that game. I enjoyed it just because of the coolness of trying to figure out what the hell I'm watching and what's going on, and you know, getting all these really like going down the rabbit hole vibes. which I really, really enjoyed. But I could have gone so much further down the rabbit hole had I figured something out a lot sooner. And I think that's why I found it a little bit frustrating at the end when because I finally figured out the other stuff way after I should have done, and therefore missed a hell of a lot of the story.
Yeah.
Or what the hell was going on. And
Yeah.
that would have been up there. I think that would have been potentially the one for this year. But at this point, I played another game this week that I think is definitely going to be even after the very short time I've played it. Big time. So we'll talk about that after. But shall we talk about
right now? We're going to talk about the shared game, the game that we all played. Because I have a sound clip, a thing that I'm going to play as soon as I find it. Bitch. Yeah, bitch! Yeah, bitch! Play my game, bitch. Yeah, it's got the Breaking Bad connection. Yeah, bitch! Chivalry 2. All right, so Chivalry 2 is Call of Duty with swords.
Yeah, man.
Yeah, it is.
And I gotta say, the tutorial is very amusing. They do a good job integrating humor.
I think it was terrible. I hated it.
Why?
The tutorial?
Because I couldn't do the stuff it was telling me to do, right? And I got to the sidestep and
I'm
hit
gonna wear
him
this
from
sound
behind.
effect out, I suppose. I mean, I can only
You
play
really suck.
All right, no, listen. Hear me out.
It's frustrating.
You're old.
I got to the do a sidestep and hit him, which I did several times, and then he wouldn't let me get any further.
Did the game just go, you are too old?
No, nothing happened. I just slashed him in the back.
Here's the question, Stu.
And
Hang on. On the screen, it'll say like you got to do it twice. It'll say, and then when you do it once, it'll say.
There wasn't even a marker thing for it. It's just said do a sidestep and do this, and there was a green bar, and that was it. And I kept hitting him, and I tried it from the left, and I tried it from the right.
So let me ask this question, Stu. The previous things you had done, did they have like a little indicator, like 1 out of 2, or and you do it once?
This
and
one
then it said
didn't.
1 out of 2. This one didn't have that. Okay.
This was the dude with the sword.
It sounds like it bugged on you. It sounds like it glitched.
The dude with a sword, and I'm like, well, why?
So you started it over and tried again?
No, I didn't. I went, fuck this game. I'm done.
Oh.
Okay, well then you don't ever get to make fun of anybody ever again.
That's what I did. I went,
continuing with the game.
You can fucking stick your game up your ass.
Okay. Well, thank you for that perspective.
That's as far as I got.
Chinny, do you agree that the tutorial was pretty amusing?
I thought it was good. Yeah, it was pretty amusing. But I think
I liked
it. Yeah, it's Call of Duty with swords is pretty accurate. But I thought it was pretty polished and.
It is very polished.
It felt
The
good.
second one, the first one, I remember being very hectic and frenetic, but not very. I don't think it had staying power. And I think this one, they said we're going to make this one give it some staying power. And the takeaway there is that I was kind of I was annoyed at the tutorial because there were so many steps to this process. You can't. It's not just that you click left mouse button to attack or whatever it is on the controller. Like there's regular attack, there's overhand, there's jabbing, there's blocking, there's zooming out of the way, there's riposte, and it's a thorough, kind of like For Honor has all these different ways of attacking, and that's fine. It's cool because once you get the hang of it, it's very satisfying, right? So at the end of the tutorial, you have to fight these two guys, and when I beat them, I was like, yes! And fortunately, when you hit the C button, and I'm sure there's some button on the controller, he does like a battle cry. And there's such a nice variety of those cries. So when you win, like when I beat the two, I was like, I hit the battle cry, and he was like, yeah. But other times when you're running onto the battlefield, you hit it, and he'll go, for that guy we like.
Yeah.
That was very funny. So.
Yeah, it seems like they found the fun with it. I don't know what the first one was like, but I've seen gameplay of it. But it seems like they've sort of figured out what was fun about it and put it into this game.
Yeah.
I'll be playing more of it.
I won't. And here's why I won't. Because
you hate games.
I hate games. Why who plays video games?
They are stupid.
I didn't realize that they were putting you into a bot match when you finished the tutorial.
Oh,
so
definitely.
I thought I was in a game and I was beating people. I'm like, I'm great at this.
Yes.
And then I finished and it said, rankings, and it was like Duke Scath up here. And then it was like Freddie, Mikey, Bobby, Joey, Schmucky. Like it was all single name. And it was, these are all bots. I got it.
These are all bots.
So I went into an actual game, and for so far as I could tell, and maybe I didn't do enough searching, but like I really like team deathmatch, and this is true about Call of Duty as well. I don't want to play objective-based games because the objective-based games, except for Battlefield, objective-based games tend to be like, especially the one I was playing. I went into a game and it was like, okay, they're attacking our first defenses, hold the line, and then they beat those defenses, and it's like, okay, fall back to the village, and then they crash through the village and kill everybody. It's like, okay, fall back to the rear defenses, and then they come through and they destroy that. And they're like, don't let them destroy the standing stones, and then they came destroy the standing stones. As soon as we lost those first defenses, I knew we were going to lose the whole thing. So then it becomes like, why keep fighting? I know we're going to lose because the other team is obviously more organized than our team. So it just becomes this exercise in just fighting for no reason, losing, fighting, losing. And I'm just like, team deathmatch, that can turn. Like, you can turn it around. And I wish I could have found it.
You can turn around like a capture mode, though.
I suppose. I've never really been in a game where that happens. Most of the time when it's objective mode, I'm like, eh. Now, I've seen it happen on Battlefield, but even there, it's rare. So I don't know. I tend to prefer team deathmatch, and I couldn't figure out how to only play that. So.
I like the capture stuff because I don't know. It feels like it fits the setting.
Oh sure, that's fine.
And it feels like good and
That makes
fun.
sense.
It's rare that you play a multiplayer game where it sort of feels a bit like I've never really done this before. Do you know what I mean? I've never really like had this sort of feeling before. But it's familiar and different enough. So for those reasons, I really enjoyed it.
And you know, I will say that when you're on the battlefield and like, first of all, it's hard to keep track of who's where and all this stuff, and I kept getting picked off by archers and stuff.
Chaotic,
but the flip side of that is you come up to somebody who's fighting one of your mates, and you can come up to the enemy and just like slaughter them in the back because they don't realize you're there, and it's like, yes, that's a good feeling. But it occurs to me that this game is a more serious version of Vermintide 2. And so we liked Vermintide 2, I did, because of the arcadiness of it, right? You pick it up, you go, you start slaughtering everybody, and this game is much more grueling and frustrating, whereas Vermintide 2 is meant to be more,
fun,
rewarding and happy.
Yeah, I like Vermintide 2, and I just
it depends on your definition
the tutorial
of fun,
put me off.
So.
Maybe I need to play the actual game. Maybe that would help.
Maybe that would be useful, but you're never going to do it.
No, because this game was fucking terrible. No, it isn't terrible. I'm just.
Well, I mean, glitches like that are very frustrating.
Subjective. I'm sorry, but it's just not for me.
Okay.
Not for me.
Wow. If you want a Call of Duty that is orcs, well, no orcs, but it's swords and
it's like Skyrim. It's like Skyrim and Call of Duty,
meets,
isn't it? Really?
Yeah. Except that Skyrim is just keep clicking the attack button until the end of time.
Yeah, there's a little bit more skill involved.
This game is not. Yeah, exactly.
When they started going, I'll tell you when they lost me. When they started going about fucking dragging.
Right.
Hey, if you drag to the fucking left,
exactly, and that's exactly. I had to do that part like 10 times because it was, you had to time it.
Oh yeah.
So that your sword was on the left side of your body when they're attacking you on that side of your body, and then you turn and you can get two guys with one attack. And it's like, oh, come on, really?
And it's like,
now again,
hey,
look,
if you do
that
people
who played the first one,
you'll be getting dead.
Yeah, but like the people who played the first one got so into it that they wanted those increased kinds of mechanics. So they're developing for a very particular audience.
Yeah, I get that. I do, but it's not for me.
I hear you.
I just want to have fun. I don't want stuff that's frustrating.
You run for fun? What kind of hell of fun is that?
Fuck this game.
Yeah. All right, anything else about Chivalry 2?
No, it's terrible.
No, I don't think so. Stu, shut up. Stop.
I've got a game for next week, by the way. All right.
Go on.
All right. Is it on Game Pass or
while you two were talking about this, I really don't give a shit about, right? I thought I'll have a look what are the best JRPGs, because Duke wants to find a good JRPG.
Why would you
on
do that
Game Pass? So here's what I've come up with: Scarlet Nexus, which is an action JRPG. So at least it's not turn-based.
I've been looking at that one. I actually downloaded the demo on Steam a long time ago.
So let's play that. It's on Game Pass. We can all play it.
Okay.
And you can even play it on your PC if you want to download the demo. Everybody out there, you have no reason not to play some Scarlet Nexus and see how you like it.
Play along with us.
Play it and write in.
Yeah, play it and write and see what you thought of this game.
Come on, y'all.
Yeah, or Speak Pipers or whatever you want to do. Just send it with a pigeon. We don't care.
Right. All right, Chinny, you're up.
That was a lot of tea that I just drank.
It was a lot. It sounded like a lot.
Just
A
spill
big
it?
gulp.
I have been playing Vampire Survivor.
Of course you have.
Ooh, okay.
Mhm.
I've talked about this before on the show, but it was only available on Game Pass on the PC.
Ah.
Much to my surprise, I turned on my Xbox this week, had a look at what was on the Game Pass, and saw that
It's
Vampire
there.
Survivor is on the console. I prefer to play on the console because I'm a stupid twat. And therefore, I started playing it again. The game is an auto battler. You only use the left stick to move, and you basically run around, try and avoid everybody. And everybody talks about all the deep strategies and all the cool things. And I'm basically shit at this game. I never get anywhere, but I'm just addicted to it. I love it so much. Vampire Survivors is good, addictive, fun. I don't really have anything new to say about it other than when I started it up, it unlocked about 17 achievements for some reason. I have no idea why. So
Is that from previously playing it, do you think?
I have two paths in front of me. Yeah, I have two paths in front of me. I either never play this game again, or I click a lot of YouTube videos and go down a bit of a hole and figure out why I'm so bad at it. So that's the fork in the road right now.
I would take the first one, but you know what?
I know you would. I know you would. I know you would. So that's Vampire Survivors.
Why are you so bad at it? Right.
idea.
Well,
Is
Duke,
it
it's
time?
back over to you.
Oh, no.
It's because you don't have a glider.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's because you don't have a glider.
If you had a glider, you'd be kicking ass.
Glider.
Yeah. Yeah. So I have one more game. But Chinny, Stu, you should do one because you have a bunch.
Well, he's
Okay, well, I will.
Go on,
I
go on,
will
go on.
talk a little bit because I think I'm very nearly the end of this. The Shadows of the Rose DLC for Resident Evil Village.
Resident
Oh, right,
Evil
that.
8.
Shadows of Rose. I'm pretty impressed with this. I'll be honest. It's about 4 hours, 4 to 5 hours. You reckon?
Are you
And I'm
glad
about
that
there.
you've played it?
Yeah, I think you know what for 12 quid, which is all it
Bob.
costs. I think it's worth it. I think
I
that,
have
you know, I
trouble.
don't-
I have trouble sort of playing a game after I've finished it, even
Yeah,
though
but it's
DLC.
not. It isn't. It isn't the game.
No, I know.
It's a different character. It's a different story arc. It's
It's like a
the
different
same
game.
environments, but it's third person rather than first person. So they have made a few changes to it.
Yeah, I guess.
And she
I
has
guess.
completely different powers. You know what I mean? She has all these special powers because she's like Rose. So she has these special powers that help her, and they're quite impressive. I like it, and I like the combat in it so far. I've just had a really tough boss battle, one where you just when you just nearly die, but you don't quite, and you just manage to get through it, and I really like that.
Yeah,
'Cause I feel like it's a
Resident
perfect
Evil
balance.
are very good at that.
Yeah,
Making you feel
a-
like you've scraped
you're
it.
literally just about to die,
Yeah.
and you're just about, and
They
they'll
are
chuck
the
you a
fucking
health
experts.
potion just when you need it. You just one, just to get you through.
Yeah, they are the
Um,
experts at that.
And I think it's brilliant. I'm really, really been impressed with it. Her as a character is fine. She's a bit whiny. She's a bit whining all the time.
Oh.
But I'm quite impressed. 12 quid, I can totally recommend it if people like Resident Evil and they like Village, obviously. And it is cool to go back to these settings,
Yeah,
but in a different scenario.
yeah.
But yeah, I've just had a massive boss battle, and it was, the usual 3 or 4 stages. And just when you think you've finished it, something else happens.
Something else happened.
And now I'm in a creepy ass house with fucking mannequins that just keep popping up in like 2 inches from your face, which is always fun.
That's always fun.
It's always fun. So yeah, I totally recommend it. It's great. It's really good.
Yeah.
So there you go. There's nothing else to say. It's great.
Just play it. Just
Play
play
it.
it.
Play it, man.
Play it. All right. So that means that's up. I'm up.
Means you're up.
Okay. So as I said, I went looking for JRPGs, and the one that is on Game Pass that is the most well-loved on Steam and Reddit, gameplay recommendations is Octopath Traveler.
Yes, I've heard a lot
This
about
is
this.
this is
heard
a
of this.
kind of an 8-bit game, but they've done a good job of, first of all, it's got very nice graphics, and what they do well is they use depth of field on these 8-bit graphics.
There
so
is a
that it
technical
has-
term for it, Duke. Do you want to know the technical term?
Isn't it depth of field?
No.
What is it?
It's called tilt shift.
Okay, they've tilt shifted. I thought those were two different things. But anyway, yeah. So basically, the stuff you're not looking at is blurry. That's what it comes down to.
Basically.
And
You
it
blur the
gives
top and you
a
blur the
sense
bottom,
of-
and it makes everything
right.
look small.
So it gives you a sense of like, seeing it from a distance, and it's a kind of a simple trick, but they didn't have it in the old school consoles, so that's how you're playing a more modern game.
It looks like it looks like a paper town,
Right.
doesn't
Right.
it? It
So
looks
that's
like a
what
little
they've
paper
kind of
mache
done is-
town, yeah.
Right. Now, I haven't played very much of this, and the pace of this game is really slow at the start.
I'm out.
So you pick one of like 6 different characters to start with, and for whatever reason, I chose the scholar. I should have picked the fighter, because I'll bet there's a lot of fighting in the fighter intro, but I picked the scholar, and the scholar, the dialogue is so god-awful. Why does everybody have such a hard time writing about classrooms? First of all, okay, so you're the tutor for these 2 young ladies, and so the fact that you only have 2 students, okay, right there is like bullshit. But whatever, I guess it makes sense if you're, a tutor in a castle, and one of them's the princess, and the other one's some random.
Yeah, it's private
lady.
schooling, man.
Yeah, okay, fine. But he's giving this lecture that's like, our town is one of 2 on the continent. And it's like, really? These young ladies look like they're 16, 17. They're just now learning that your town is one of 2 on the continent. It seems like they would have learned that already. And then it's like, oh, what's the other town? And the girl's like, and then you go, well, it's okay. You don't have to be all flustered. There's no shame in having a wrong answer so long as you're willing to learn what the right Shut the fuck up! Oh my God, can we please proceed with this story a little bit? Like, I don't think I am this is what Jacinta was talking about. Like, I'm not the audience, I don't think, for these, It's meant to be more contemplative and more taking your time. But seriously, the characters are so fucking stupid. It's so exhausting. And then, at one point, so then I leave, and it's like, oh, the headmaster wants you. And it's like, okay, I got to go see the headmaster. So I'm on my way to the headmaster.
Did you
And
know
the
what the
princess-
name of the town is? You're now fucking die.
The princess goes, she stops me. Oh, Professor, I had a question. But you're on
What
your
is
way
the name of
somewhere."
the town?
She goes, you're on your way somewhere. And then it's like, I always have time to provide the valuable treasure of knowledge. And she's like, oh, but I don't want to keep you. And he's like, nonsense. My task can wait. Shut the fuck up. Can we just get
Was
on
her
with it?
question, are you a nonce? Was that a question?
No,
Like,
the question was, I was just wondering what kind of worship, what did they worship in the old lands? And the response should have been, I don't know. But instead it goes, that's a heck of a very insightful question. And then it's this whole thing about like, I have a hypothesis about, and it's not based on, it's not just mere conjecture. It is based upon the idea that the things we found in, oh God. So it's just,
and I'm
I'm
guessing
not-
this is all
I didn't
text.
fall in love with it
this,
instantly.
this is all
It's
text,
all
Duke?
text.
Yeah,
Yep.
I'm out.
And when I finally met with the
Yeah.
headmaster, he's like, you were talking about the secret tomes in our library in your last paper. And I'm like, okay, finally a conflict. And, the headmaster wants us to hoard the knowledge for ourselves, and your character wants to spread it with everybody. So, I'm hanging on. I'm going to play more of it. But it was just kind of frustrating at the start because, I mean, I don't know.
Sounds awful.
I can't wait to hear your opinion on Scarlet Nexus next week. I really can't.
Well, that's a combat RPG. This is not by
Yeah,
design.
yeah,
I
it might
don't
be
think
better.
Octopath
It might be better.
It might be better. So we'll see. And I downloaded another one. I don't remember what it's called, but I can open up my Game Pass here and tell
People,
I must admit,
people
I do-
bloody love Octopath Traveler.
you. People
Yeah, they
do love it.
I
And the
like the
question
art
is, who
style.
are they
I
and
must
why do
admit,
they
I
love
do
it?
like the art style of it. It looks like
Yeah.
Oh, no,
There's
it
one
looks
called Edge of
nice.
Eternity that I downloaded, and this one looks more modern, so forth. Here's the thing. Look, the art style in Octopath Traveler is a big part of it, and the fact that if a game if it has an interesting world, if eventually you get to some good conversations, cool. I just know that the pacing of the dialogue tends to be consistent throughout an RPG. So if I am clutching my eyelids in frustration at how slow a story is being told at the start, you know,
You ain't
they
gonna
better
get any
hurry it
better.
up soon.
Yeah.
It's not likely to get a whole lot better. So whatever. I'm going to keep going. I'll give it another hour at least. But next week, I will be letting you know I love it or I'm fucking done with this shit.
You're done. You're out.
We'll see.
Chinny.
Shall we do it?
Shall we fucking do this?
Has it God of War time?
I think it's
time
God
to
of
do
War
it.
time.
Is it time for
God of War. God of War Ragnarok came out
Yeah,
this week.
fucking rock.
Stu and I have had our grubby little hands all
We
over
have.
it.
I'll be honest. I've probably played about an hour and a half.
I've probably played about 2 hours.
And I'll be honest,
I played
more has
6 hours.
happened in an hour and a half in this game that happens in most games, the whole of the game.
I'll be honest, I'm a little disappointed so far.
Really, I'm the opposite. Wow.
No,
You're not supposed
I
to say
suppose.
that about a brand new game.
Let me rephrase it. It's a great game. It's a great game. It's going to be brilliant, right? However, I've been hearing a lot of journos because all the journos, the proper journos,
You see, I haven't read anything on this.
they've all finished
prior to
this
playing it.
because they got codes for it like 2 weeks, right? 2 weeks
Yeah.
ago.
Well,
Which
and
is
they have
what-
no jobs other
There's
than
n-
play
yeah,
video
well,
games.
there's no point in
That is
competing,
their job.
competing with these other podcasts because they get a code 2 weeks in advance and they all finish it so they can all do spoiler casts like on the fucking day it comes out or whatever, right? So anyway, all I've been hearing is like, oh my god, the first 10 minutes I cried and
Oh, I didn't give a shit
Oh,
about any of that.
and this and then that and then the shocking bit but what I've also heard is that okay, the first few hours is like good and then it really fucking ramps up and starts to like get like the scale of it starts to increase. So don't get me wrong, the first 2 hours that I've played, I'm really pleased with. I enjoy it. I love the combat. I love the combat loop. I love how good it feels. I like the characters, but it basically feels like I'm playing more of the other God of War. Do you know what I mean? Like there's no,
Really?
well, like there's no. So
I'm
far, and
beginning to wonder if I'm slightly further ahead than you. Then in that case,
maybe, but there's,
Yeah, have
there's
you got to the second boss fight?
just very brief.
Well, there's two major boss fights in the first few hours
Is
of
it,
the
is
game.
it an animal?
No.
Hold on.
Yeah,
Yes,
you definitely
yes.
know if you've done it.
Yes, I have. Yes, I have. I know what you're talking about.
That was
No,
fucking
that's
brilliant.
good. That's good. Yeah, that's
I'm
good.
like, what the fuck?
No, that's great. That's great.
Brilliant.
It's great. Yeah, that is great. Yeah, to be fair, that is fantastic. I don't know. It's just
the
it's just
animal one was pretty cool as well. To be fair,
like that's a shocking one, isn't it? But like the
yeah,
we won't say any more like than we have now.
No.
But yeah, I thought it was good. I was like, but this is more of it. This is more of
Well,
like
it is
this is
kind
more of the brilliant. The way I've been hearing people talk about it is like it's like the fucking second coming.
Do you know what I will say? You can tell. Right, I'll tell you what I'll say. Right, and I thought this instantly.
Darren Sims says, "Are you playing PS4 or PS5?" Stewie's on the PS4. I'm on the
PS4 Pro sounds like it's about to fucking take off. It is.
I'm on the
fans
PS5,
are
so I
that
can
loud.
barely hear anything.
You can barely hear it. Mine sound, but it looks phenomenal and plays fantastically well considering how old that console is. But here's what I'll say, right? When I played The Last of Us 2,
Yeah.
the
that.
animation and mocap. No, you didn't. But anyway, the animation and mocap is that good.
Yes.
It's like watching a movie but playing a video game.
Correct.
When I played God of War Ragnarok, I was expecting, I'll be honest, because obviously this is a follow-up to the first game, that level of detail. And it isn't there. The animations look like
When you're
video game.
moving Kratos,
Yeah.
you are moving a video game character. Is what I think
Yes.
what you're getting at,
And-
isn't it?
Yeah,
like he's
and
very
when you
quick.
And when you see Atreus running in front of you, he looks very. It's almost like canned animations rather than full-on mocap for everything.
Yes. Yeah.
And
Well,
I think that's the
yeah.
one. But that is one such tiny niggle.
Oh, it's tiny stuff. Like
I've
this
got.
is look. Don't get me. Don't get.
But I'm expecting that level. When
Don't
you've
get
seen
it
The Last of Us
twisted
2,
of what I'm saying, right? This
when
is a
you've seen The Last of
fucking
Us 2,
yeah. This
you're
is a
expecting
fucking
that level
brilliant.
now.
This is a fucking brilliant game. It's absolutely phenomenal. The work that's gone into it, but
Yeah.
the way people have been talking about it, are sort of like but it is just more God of War. Like,
But this also does the same as Resident Evil. It is so good at making you feel like you're literally about to die, and then it gives you something, or something happens to allow you just to keep on going. And that's way better than getting frustrated by being killed.
maybe we're at the same point. Are you talking right? I wanna
There's a
speak-
massive boss fight, and you definitely know when you're doing it. I mean, there's no doubt.
Does it involve
You get
lightning?
yes, it does. You get visited off two people.
Right.
You get a visit in the
Yes.
night.
Yeah, I've done that. I fought him.
Yeah. But I thought that was great.
I think we're at the
really
same
enjoyed it.
point. I think we're roughly at the same point.
Yeah.
I'll
So
tell you where I am.
literally-
I'm in like a kind of a new home where you meet the two
Yeah, I
dwarfs
haven't
from the
quite done
first
that.
game.
I've literally just set off for that, so I'm probably just slightly
Okay,
behind
so
you.
we're about the same place.
Yeah, slightly behind you.
Yeah, slightly behind. So we're about the same place.
And I'll tell you what else I liked, right? Fucking games, right? I hate it when they go, oh, this happens. I mean, and they've done this in God of War, to be fair. Oh, you've got no more weapons or powers because this happened. And this may happen yet, I don't know. But at this point, it's like, no, here's your fucking chain blades, get on with it. It
no,
just
but
gives you all your shit.
they did no because you have lost all your powers.
Well, kind of. but
Yes,
you put
because
all
there's
your
a line
weapons-
in there, Stu, about it.
There always is.
So because some of the upgrades, like dash forward and press hit, and then you spin it, you have to upgrade it again. And the head thing that you hang off your belt, he says, oh, because the story of the game, I won't give away details, but basically, since the first game, there's been a winter. There's been like this big cold, snowy storm,
Ragnarok.
and that has faded Kratos' powers. That's what he said.
Yeah.
So that's
yeah,
why
fair
you
enough.
have to fucking upgrade.
No, but at least you've
everything.
got all your weaponry because you only really get those blades of chaos really.
Yeah,
late in
right
the
towards the
first
end. Yeah,
game.
that would make. Yeah, that's good that you get those because he's like, right, let's set off, and he grabs them.
And he fucking grabs them. I'm like, nice.
So what Darren is saying in the chat is exactly what I've been hearing. Is like, I heard somebody else say it. Like, it kind of feels like it's more God of War. Like they literally just like pick up. But then there is like the more you go into the game, the bigger and bigger and bigger it gets, and the more crazy.
But let me say
it
this
gets.
to you, Chinny. Right? What other game have you ever played where it throws two massive boss fights at you, apart from fucking Elden Ring, which you can probably do that in 2 hours, I guess. But throws two massive boss fights at you within the first 2 hours of the game. He goes,
I don't
fucking
know.
have a
Like,
boss fight. Oh, we have another fucking boss fight.
yeah, I suppose so. Like, but
I mean, I know they did that in the first game with Loki at the beginning. You know,
Yeah.
that wasn't too far in when you have to fight Loki.
It's not. No, it's not Loki. It's Bolmar. It's all.
Oh, is it Bolmar? I thought it
Bolmar or
was
something.
Loki
Yeah,
when you
yeah.
first fight.
Yeah.
But I just love that. I'm like, fucking hell, this is exhilarating and it feels satisfying.
Yeah. I mean, I went the last boss fight you're talking about with the chap
With the big dude.
with the big lad. I mean, that was pretty epic. To be fair,
It's
I kind of
fucking
forgot about.
epic.
How
How could you forget it? I'm
I
like, has he
know.
played it already?
Yeah. But all I'm saying is, Stu, right, is that it's nothing that the first game didn't do.
No, I agree. And it is still very gamey.
And also
know,
the
when
problem
you-
the problem is you've got sequelitis here, because so when God of War 2018 came out, it was a fresh start, and when Bulmer comes at the door and you're like, who's this guy? And he looks so scrawny and thin. This is in the 2018 game, so I'm not spoiling this God of War. And he looks like scrawny and thin. He's like, who's this guy? Like, Kratos is obviously gonna like snap, like just kill this, like snap him in half. And he turns out he's a fucking god, and
we're all trying.
he batters you. Is brilliant. Do you know what I mean? Like that
Oh, yeah.
impact of the first game of that first fight was more surprising to me than the two boss fights that you get.
I do agree. I'm not disagreeing, but it doesn't make it any less fucking good to do.
No, I think, but it's just diminishing returns. I just think because we know what this God of War is going to feel like because we played it 4 years ago, it won't be as special. That's all I'm saying.
Well, we're only 2 hours in, so it's
I know,
very
and
early
I'm
days.
happy. And so what I've heard is like it proper ramps up and it gets better and better. And don't get me wrong, the first 2 hours are very good. I didn't cry because it wasn't that great.
Yeah,
I don't know,
didn't
like
cry. I'll be
it
honest. You
was-
know me, I get emotional. I didn't cry.
I didn't cry. Whatever.
No, I didn't cry.
But Yeah, because I hear all these people say, "Oh, it's so emotional," and as a father, I can relate to this character. I'm like, fucking whatever, shut up.
Really? It's not
I-
that deep, trust me.
like 4 games ago, he was banging women in a bed.
Yeah,
do you know what I mean?
well,
Like,
to
it's not,
get his energy back.
but he's matured now. He's mature. So, like, I don't know. It's
Fatherhood will
it's-
really change a man.
Yeah,
and what I
no.
liked about that last boss fight was that particular boss was
Yeah.
really basically trying to piss off Kratos to like. He's like, I want to see the real God of War. You know what I mean? He's like,
Yeah.
he's basically trying to piss you off,
Baiting you is baiting you all the time.
up. Yeah, which was really, really good. So, yeah,
Just
it's very
messing with you.
Look, it's very good. I'm gonna play
It
it.
is
It's
very
gonna
good.
be in Game of the Year discussions. It's gonna be up there.
Definitely.
Will it beat Power Wash Simulator? I don't know.
don't know.
Right?
I don't
know. But it's gonna be
Hard
up
to
there.
say.
But yeah, we're roughly we're gonna commit to it, Stu, this
Yo,
week.
definitely. I've got 4 days off now,
Yeah.
so I'm gonna I have to go for a walk at least 5 miles. So I will be doing my walk, but
Yes.
in between walking, I am going to be playing the shit out of this game.
Good. Yeah, we'll commit to. Well, probably won't finish it, but get a good chunk of it, right? Yeah, get a
Oh,
good.
definitely. Yeah. I'm definitely going to be, get
I reckon
into
we
a
could
big chunk.
commit about 4 to 6 hours this week to it.
At
couldn't we? And-
least for
Yeah.
me. I could maybe do a bit more.
So there will be more God of War chat, and maybe we'll do a spoiler cast for this one, Stu, like just
Yeah,
for laughs.
I'm thinking.
Maybe we get Darren in on it.
Yeah, we get
Darren
Darren in.
He's
Darren
in the chat. He's keen. Let's get Darren in.
Get Darren in.
Dazza.
The Sim. Darren in. The Sim. Get him in.
And yeah, we'll talk more about it. But so far, impressions of
First
God of War
impressions for
Ragnarok,
me are great.
pretty good, pretty good. I wish they would knock out because God of War 2018 was a great year, by the way.
It was a great year.
God of War, Spider-Man, Red Dead 2, brilliant year. Yeah,
Wow,
and
God of War was good.
and I got married in that year as well. So yeah,
You did.
and we all met
And you had,
in
and you
real
had a
life.
Stag do.
We all
Stag
met
do.
in real life in that year.
Yeah, we did. So much
So-
happened in 2018. It was a big year.
Yeah, it's a good year. So yeah, God of War Ragnarok, very very
Good,
Good.
so far.
yes.
There you go.
yes.
The only thing I've only got one other game to talk about. Has anyone else got anything else before I talk about it?
I don't believe
Nope.
I do.
Uh,
No.
very quickly, I have played quite a bit more of the Entropy Center.
Oh yeah, this is the
yeah, okay.
Portal-like time trippy
Yeah.
game. isn't it?
Rewinding
Yes.
game.
Yeah. I really like this game.
Yeah.
I've got to say, so far,
How many hours are you in now?
I'm a fair way in now. At the moment, I'm looking. I'm trying to looking for power packs. I think to fix something.
I think the only way I would play this is if it come to console, which, judging by how polished this game looks, I would say that it will be coming at some point soon to consoles.
But yeah, I'm shocked. I'll be honest. I'm shocked it's not on console.
Yeah, but it looks like it might be soon though. Looking at how good it is, yeah.
It's so good. It's so polished. The voice acting's great.
Yeah.
It feels better in the main game than it did in the demo. So I'm wondering how early that demo was. Do you know what I mean? How
yeah,
sort
could have been years old.
yeah. And I am starting to think more with time travel. You know, it's think with portals. This is thinking with time travel.
Yeah.
And I am. The more I play it, the more natural things are becoming.
Yeah, you
If
start
that
to
kind of
learn it, don't you? You start to
Yeah. Your brain
Master
starts to
certain-
adapt.
start
Yeah,
to
it's
see
not
things.
just the mechanics of shooting things with this gun, but it's a way of thinking and a way of relating to life in the world.
Yeah, it's so good. I'm very
Cool.
impressed. It's worth every penny of the 20 quid it costs.
All right.
So if anyone wants to, play a decent Portal
play it.
alike, this is probably the best you can get at the moment. I would have said,
Yeah.
without another Portal game. This is about as close as it
Well,
gets.
there ain't going to be one of those anytime
No, not for a
soon.
long time.
No.
Well, honestly, I am so impressed with this game.
Cool.
But yeah, bouncy platforms. I love the fact as well. It does that great thing of giving you those eureka moments.
Yeah.
Because I was in a obviously I think this may still be in the demo, but there's a level in the game where you have two bouncy platforms and you've got to get to the top of somewhere. But it's when you first start doing it, you're like, how the hell am I going to do that?
Yeah.
Because they've only got two. How the hell am I going to get them up to the top? And when it dawns on you, you're just like, oh, why didn't I have that's so simple? Why did I not realize that straight away?
Why am I so shit?
Why am I so fucking stupid? But it's great because the game knows you will eventually figure it out. You know, it's like, well, eventually you'll realize what you need to do. And that's where it alters the way you start thinking about it. And I think that's what works so well in this game. So there you go. I can't speak highly enough of it. I'm so impressed with it.
Entropy Center, folks.
It may get frustrating as the puzzles get more and more complex, but I'm not sure it will. Because I thought that about Portal 2. You know, some of those puzzles towards the end of Portal 2 are just fucking ridiculous, aren't they?
Yeah, but because you've been playing the game for so many hours, you're sort of used to the way of thinking.
Yeah.
You know?
They're in these
If
massive...
you used to jump into the last level straight away, you wouldn't know how to fix it. But like the game is a sort of tutorial system. Yeah.
So I'm hoping it carries on in that vein. But so far, I'm very, very impressed. And I love all these like messages on the computers. And like, there's this dickhead called, is it Tom? There's a dickhead called Tom who keeps coming up with these fucking crazy ideas like, oh, we could have like, you know, entropy table tennis. So you hit the ball, but then the ball goes in reverse and you don't know which way the ball's going to go when you hit it again.
Right.
You know, and all this, he keeps going, they're like, you can tell like...
Tom, take a weekend off. Go
they're
to
gradually getting more and more frustrated with all these stupid ideas, but still being nice to him.
Well, and it's an interesting way to include some interesting possibilities for the entropy machine without having to actually put them in the game.
Yeah. But I don't know. I'm assuming the end of the demo is like a bit of a massive moment that's in the main game. I'm guessing.
Yeah.
Where you're like, what the fuck?
It involves the Earth.
Yes. Well, I'm way past that now, but that moment is fucking great.
Yeah, it's good.
It's such an impressive.
That's why I said it's like kind of Bioshock level of demo, isn't it? It's
yeah. It's very, very good. Totally recommend it to everyone.
Cool.
Yeah.
All right, that's enough of that.
Yeah.
You keep sometimes you come to an end of describing a game.
I know, I'm done.
And then you keep going around in circles.
I'm
so
done.
Let's just play it. Let's just play it. Oh, the bouncy stuff is so cool.
Done.
Yeah. No, I agree.
Done.
All right, moving on. Are we done with video games? Anybody
We are done with video games.
I think so.
Okay. What about news? Do we have any news?
Well, I've got a little bit. I must admit, I've been very remiss.
Putting news first.
In the middle of the show.
It's annoying having work, huh?
I know. Well, I've had work and I've also been Christmas shopping for 2 days.
Okay.
So, you know, I've been to Manchester and stayed over.
I recommend you
stuff.
marry a Buddhist, non-materialist like person who doesn't want any things.
And I've barely, I'll be honest, I have barely put anything in the news. Like, in fact, I've only put 2 stories.
You don't
in.
say. You never put anything
one
in
of
the
those
news
is Starfield was meant to launch 2 days ago, but it didn't.
Yeah. Well, that's fine.
You know, they put these fucking dates in trailers. I don't know why they bother.
Why didn't
because
it?
they
Did
they
it get
want to
delayed?
get their
Did it?
investors ready.
Yeah, it's been delayed into 2023.
Obviously, it's not out.
Oh yeah, I didn't know.
But in the trailer, it had 11/11/22 people. It's
I like
coming.
the idea. I like the idea that they said 11/11/22
because it's the same day as Skyrim came out,
and then they just didn't release it and just didn't tell
Nope.
anyone. They're just like, nah, we're not doing it.
Right.
Just not releasing it. It was 2023 people. Get over it.
Ooh, Battlefield 2042 is coming to the Game Pass.
Fraser says, yo, are we still on the Bayonetta boycott?
Yes, I've not played it.
No,
I haven't played it.
No, you've not played it, but
I haven't bought it.
Is that a principle?
No, Stu. No, because see, Stu's trying to be clever here. It's like, I've not played it.
Not
but
played it.
Are you going to play it? Because I don't think Stu. As soon as
don't know
Stu
whether I
found
can-
out that she was being a bit of a bitch and saying, he was back on the old Bayonetta fucking hype train.
Well, a story.
Look at him.
I mean, it's
Look
gone,
at him,
I'll tell you
Fraser.
what.
Look at
Can
his
I just
face.
say-
Let me get a close
can
up
I
of his
just
face
say-
because look at him. Look at
Can I
him.
just say? No,
over
just
there.
hear me out.
He
hear
wants
me
to
out.
play Bayonetta 3.
Hear me out. All right. There were all that controversy. Well, it's gone fucking quiet now, hasn't it? Just saying. You know, since she's
Let
been
me ask
called
you a
out,
question, Stu, and you are going
and then
to
she
answer
realised
it.
that she were telling
Stop
little
being
fibers,
a
little white
politician,
lies.
Stu.
I'm just doing a
Are
pivot, all right?
you going to
Just doing a
play
pivot.
Bayonetta 3?
I can't say no.
So you are.
I might do at some point.
You will.
I may cave in.
You're gonna cave in.
I think I am.
Yeah.
I'm not caving in straight away though. On principle, I'm gonna make them wait for me cash for a little bit.
Well,
Not that they give a shit.
what I'm proud to say, and Duke is also proud to say that, Fraser, we are still boycotting Bayonetta 3, not because we think it's
You
stupid
don't
shit
give a shit.
and just a fucking piece of trash, but because we believe people should get paid properly, or whatever.
Yeah,
the
it
fuck
seems like
happened.
she was offered a proper wage and decided
We
not
never
to
had
take
any
it.
interest in playing it to begin with. I never did.
No.
Yeah, it seems that things were fine, but she just was a bit of sour grapes because it
Well,
just wasn't enough
I-
for me.
Whatever. I don't want to get into this again. Next news story.
Okay, I have got one more.
Yeah.
And this is a great one.
Let's hear it.
Remedy officially announces sequel to Control People. It's happening, apparently.
Really? This is your great news story?
It is.
I
It's the
thought
best
they
I'm-
announced this.
I don't know. It's apparently they announced obviously Alan Wake, didn't they?
Alan Wake 2.
No
Alan
one
Wake
gives
2.
a shit.
But they haven't. They haven't announced anything else. So
I thought Control was okay. Like, it didn't blow me away.
I didn't like it until they introduced the update, which allowed you to mess around with the difficulty settings.
I didn't. Yeah, I don't know.
Because then I faffed around and I found a nice balance that worked for me.
I just found it a bit bland. Like
I quite liked it.
I like the
story.
powers. Like, I feel like Remedy
like the
always do
powers.
good gameplay. Like,
Yeah, they do.
but I just found like the building like really bland and boring and sort of dull, and the characters seem really wooden and.
They were a bit
strange.
weird, but I don't know whether that was an actual
And
choice.
Fraser said it dragged on as well. And,
It did drag on a little bit, but I still.
I like the
liked
bit. Sorry, spoilers for Control. I like the bit where you could fly.
it. Yeah, that is cool. I liked it. Overall, I liked it, so I'm not too.
I didn't hate it. It's
Disappointed
it's a
there's a
3 out of
sequel
5 for me. Do you know what I mean? It's a 3
Yeah.
out of 5. By the way, I gave Plague's Tale on my personal Notion board where I keep track of all the games.
okay,
I
yeah.
play. I gave Plague's Tale a 4 out of 5. I still thought it was very good. But yeah, I think Control's a 3 out of 5 for me. So it's nothing.
I preferred the weirder stuff where it was in the motel and all that kind of crazy shit going on.
Yeah, I see. There's a game. We're talking about games with trippy endings because Fraser, we were talking about
the
a Plague's
fucking
Tale. That
Control definitely had a trippy ending.
Yeah, but like, there's a game that sort of earns it a little bit because the
Yeah.
whole game is like being trippy. Like the
Trippy.
whole game is weird. Whereas in a Plague's Tale, like, yeah, it's about controlling rats, but like these trippy dream sequence endings can just balls off. It's like a developer just like running out of ideas, or a writer just running out of ideas and making things whoa. But yeah, I think Control sort of earned them because that's what it was all about. It was all about this
Yeah.
like mysterious.
And let's be honest,
building.
Alan Wake had a fucking pretty trippy ending
Again,
as well.
like Alan Wake also like is fine, like because that's kind of what the game's about, is like this sort of weird nonsense, you know.
Yeah.
You know, like a game like I don't know, like Silent Hill, where like a lot of it's about imagination and nightmares.
Yeah, of
and
course, that's all trippy.
that's all trippy. So like I would expect those games to earn it. But like a game like Call of Duty do it a lot. There's a game that does it a lot. Trippy dream sequence endings. Fucking hell, Call of Duty is absolutely guilty of them.
I haven't played enough of them to know.
Love them because they run out of ideas. It's like, how can we make this level seem weird and like
Yeah.
special? It's just like, get a fucking life. Anyway, Control, great.
Control,
Good
I
for
have
them.
I have just had a look through this. Just fuck all else. I mean, news this week is so.
They're
there's
too
nothing.
busy bloody playing the games. Stu.
Yeah,
They're
there's
all
nothing.
coming
There's
out.
no
That's
news.
why.
There's no news. There's just no news. It's
Power
just
Wash
cack.
should be later. Well, if there's no news, there's no news, is it?
And it's time
There's
we
no
move
news,
on.
no
What's
fucking news.
next?
Emails.
Okay, we're gonna play some emails here, people. Well, listen to emails as they get read by other people.
Yeah,
not
I'm gonna
stalling
read
for
it.
time. What are you talking about? Stalling for time?
Whoa, that ruled.
We only have one email, but it's a big one. And I just
Is it from
thought,
Jason
"Ooh."
Gallagher?
No, it's from Jacinta Heather. Of
Yay, Jacinta.
Jacinta. And she says this.
Yeah, here we go.
Her name is Jacinta.
Yeah, old addictions and getting drunk with Sam Barlow.
Okay.
Hey, guys.
Hello.
I never
Hello.
thought I'd do this. Oh, Jesus Christ. This is the rabbit hole of all rabbit holes.
Oh, emailing while drunk? That's bad.
No. But I've resubscribed to World of Warcraft.
Wow.
I mean, that is
okay,
the
I see you.
fucking biggest rabbit hole you fall down and never get
That's
out
a pretty
of,
big
isn't
rabbit
it?
hole.
Jesus Christ. Wait, don't, no, hear me out.
I'm hearing. Go
We're
ahead.
listening. We are listening. There's got to be, you better have a fucking good reason for this.
Let's hear this.
The reason I switched back to PC gaming a few months ago is so that I can play more online multiplayer games.
Right.
I played a lot of League of Legends for a while because it's the only thing I could play on my laptop. But it's basically impossible to play competitive games when you have a toddler who can and will wake up
yeah.
at any moment.
Oh,
And League
sure.
punishes you for going AFK even in bot matches.
Yes.
So
That
I'm
is
sick of
not
all
the
that.
way to
Other
play.
competitive games are similar. No,
Yeah.
whoa. Look, I'm just going to do reality check here. Okay. I've heard the stories about World of Warcraft. She'll sit there, baby will be fucking crying, needing some food, and she'll not even notice.
Yeah, you never know.
I've heard
They
how
call it
this
World of
fucking
Warcraft
works.
for a reason, man.
Yeah, they do. Oh,
Yeah, they
don't give me
do.
none of this. I fucking need some. I can only play for 5 minutes multiplayer bullshit.
Why don't you just keep reading the email?
All right, okay, I will.
Okay.
I then tried playing some free-to-play MMOs, mostly Korean, and they are full of too many pay-to-win mechanics, unintelligible currency systems, and infantil whatever wafers. I also tried Path of Exile, but it's punishingly difficult, which I don't have time for. So that basically leaves the current standard good MMORPG choices. Final Fantasy 10, I don't know, 15, 16.
See, this is
Final
where I'm
Fantasy
at.
16.
Yeah.
Elder Scrolls Online, Star Wars The Old Republic,
Yeah.
or
You know what? It's got its thing.
World of Warcraft.
World of
I
Warcraft.
played
those
all
other
these
ones are
times.
free. That's the big thing. Is like
Yeah, it is.
Star Wars Tour is free.
I played all these titles a few times, but none ever grabbed me the way that Warcraft did. So
Fair
because
enough.
of a combination of
Oh,
practicality
wait.
and
Here's what I need
nostalgia-
to know, Jacinta, though. What makes World different? Why is WoW so worth paying for?
Who the hell knows?
Well, but she does. And I would
don't
like
know.
for her to let us know.
Oh, we're in millions of other people. Who knows?
I'm saying, though,
Practicality and
I
nostalgia.
trust her
I'm back
judgment. I
in-
don't trust those other people.
I'm back in Azeroth. Now I'm a total noob again, even though I played at least 1,000 hours back
1,000
in
hours in one
2008 and
game?
9.
Oof.
Oof, who does that? Now, here's what I'll say. I work with a guy who was a World of Warcraft addict, so much so that he ended up getting divorced because of it.
That's not healthy, man. You got to find a balance between life and gaming.
Me and
He
Duke
used
are very
to-
different because I was going to say, oh, no, that's a proper man.
He was that addicted that he had two separate characters that he used to do raids with different people. And he would skive off work to play the game.
Yeah.
That's not good, man. You got to take
Yeah,
care
I
of
mean,
your
I'm
business
telling you,
and then play
this
games.
is my, experience of World of Warcraft. I've never played it, but I know someone who did, and it wasn't a good outcome.
Yeah, it sounds like a great outcome.
It's a bit grim, can be. So
And
I'm
how
just
is he now?
hoping-
How is he now?
He's fine. He's off it. But here's the thing. This is what sort of
Now he just does crack.
he's cold turkeyed it. But
No, he also does some meth.
when you ask him, he does think about it. He says, I think about it. So much so, right? He had a sort of level whatever the fuck tank character that was worth God knows what if he'd have sold it in the marketplace. Okay. And he never sold it. He kept it just in case he ever decided to play again. Right. And now he cannot, because obviously it's been updated so many times, that character's completely worthless now. He can't even use it. Obviously, it can't be used with the current game. So he saved all this shit that was worth, he said it would have been worth thousands of pounds at the time. If he'd have sold it, it would have been worth a hell of a lot of cash.
Yeah, but like that's that's like anything, isn't it? Like,
Nostalgia, man.
But it's.
But he
it's-
says even now, even though he knows he's never going to do it because his first marriage failed as partly because of that. Yeah.
Did he
People
marry
collect-
again?
Yes, he's married again now.
So if he wants
And he's
to,
off it. He's off it. But he works with his wife works there as well, and she worries that he's going to do it because she knew what happened the first time.
One day.
One day.
I suppose if you marry an ex-crack addict, you're always going to think.
There's always that risk. There's always that risk, man. He plays stuff on his phone and doesn't tell her about it. Other stuff like these phone RPGs.
That's a bad sign.
Yeah, it is.
That's like not healthy at all.
No, no, it isn't.
So yeah.
No, it isn't.
Should probably tell her about that stuff.
Yeah, I'm not going to tell her anything.
Well,
But you know what I mean. It's not my place. Not my place. But you know what I mean. It's just I don't know. I'll just hear so many stories about how people get so fucking addicted and invested in.
Yeah,
this
but
game
like
that
people
real
have done
life
that with
just almost
people have done that with like
disappears.
Call of Duty, though. Do you know what I mean? Like,
No, I know
it's-
what you mean. I do, but this game is probably more infamous for it than any other. I think.
I guess so.
But anyway, just be careful. That's all I'm saying. Just
Was
be
that the?
careful.
Did she finish the email?
No, that's only the first half. The second
That's
half.
just
Maybe
getting
you should-
started.
Maybe you should.
No, we need
read-
to have conversations after every sentence.
And then,
By
yeah,
the way,
but-
in the chat, she said, WoW feels most like a real world. There's a lot to do. I never got into ratings, so I don't get that addicted. That is where a lot of people get caught up. is
Oh, that's
raids.
what he was
That's the
doing. He
thing.
was doing 2 raids a day.
Right, that's the thing is that, like...
Oh, we're on
the
2
the
raids a
best thing
day.
about- The best thing about a good MMO is that you can do a little, this is true about Guild Wars 2, in the main game at least, I don't know about Heart of Thorns, but you can like jump in, clear an area for 5 minutes and then jump out. When you start getting committed to a guild, when you start doing raids, you do World v World or Fractals in Guild Wars 2, then it becomes such an investment and such
I think
hardcore thing.
with WoW and the same with sort of Call of Duty, like when Modern Warfare came out and Modern Warfare 2, it's a lot of it was like the time and the place as well, because like
Yeah, sure.
it's hard to get all the people that I played those games with on the game again. Like,
Oh,
so
sure.
I don't think
Well,
like the WoW thing will ever happen again the same way it did for other people. I know people are playing it now, but like people that loved it
A lot
back
of
in the
people
day.
play it now. Yeah,
I
sure.
d-
I mean,
dunno.
it filled a need that existed then. That was the only game that did that. And
Yeah.
the same with Call of Duty. Now there's so many different games out there in general, and so many games that fill each need. So
Like back in the day, when we started this show, everybody was just playing fucking Call of Duty. Do you know what I mean?
No, I remember it.
Everybody was playing. So
I remember.
to get a play date going for people just to play Call of Duty or Left 4 Dead or something. But now gaming is so widespread, so
Yeah, it is.
niche, so
I
it's
remember
just
playing
massive.
Gears of War every night and staying up till like 2 o'clock in the
Yeah,
morning,
yeah.
even
I
though I
was
was
the same.
absolutely fucking
I was the
knackered the
same.
following day.
yeah, I was the same.
Like staying up way later than I should have done playing
Yeah,
it.
and me.
It is mad.
But like games are so.
And now
much
we're
more-
older. We're too old for any of that bullshit.
Games are so much more niche now. Like they don't do that anymore. They don't service that sort of thing anymore. Like they're so more,
No.
much more spread out. You know. So
No, I don't disagree. Anyway, segue time. I was reminded of this when Stuart mentioned the fact that Sam Barlow worked on Silent Hill's Shattered Memories. Picture this. Picture this. Are you ready, people? Picture this.
picture this.
I'm on my honeymoon with my Lady X in 2016, and we're in the pub in Bristol, getting totally shit-faced. And I meet a guy who works in game development and his brother. We spoke to these guys for ages. The next morning, we bumped into them again at a cafe they'd recommended to us. Unfortunately, due to the nature of my being shit-faced, I do not remember the guy's name, but I think it may have been Sam Barlow
Oh.
for these reasons. Number 1, he grew up in Bristol but had moved to London. Number 2, he worked on Silent Hill, Shattered Memories. Number 3, before he worked on heaps of other Silent Hill games. Number 4, he was definitely not an underling at these games, as he discussed being involved in the interning and hiring process, managing staff, and having a lot of creative control. Number 5, he was now working on a smaller studio. And number 6, pictures I've seen of Sam don't suggest to me that it wasn't him, but don't make it sure either. Very drunk. So that's kind of cool. She may have met him. She may have met him.
She may have met him.
I also remember him chatting with me about a lack of women in game development, and that he thought we needed more stories written by women. He encouraged me to peruse it myself. Obviously, being of the shy moron that I was, I didn't. and I didn't think to add this guy to my Facebook. Anyways, the only thing that makes me question if it was him is that Her Story had only just been released, and I either wasn't aware of the game or I just don't remember us talking about it. Perhaps it didn't reach that level of popularity it has now, though, and he didn't mention it. I don't know. I feel like if he just released that, he probably would have mentioned it, maybe. But maybe you were too shit-faced to remember. Maybe you just don't remember him mentioning it. Anyways, it doesn't really matter, but my own memory is annoying me because I can't definitely state either way. Don't you just hate that?
Well, I've never been shit-faced, so I don't know.
Oh. I kind of wish I was ballsy enough to send an email or tweet being like, hey, you remember getting drunk with two Aussie lesbians on their honeymoon in 2016? Surely that would have been memorable.
I reckon that's worth a punt, that email.
I think you should do it. Let's answer this question once and for all. Oh, it might not do because he probably just like, who's this crazy person?
No, but look,
that
like, I don't know if I spoke to two Australian lesbians on their honeymoon, I'd probably remember it.
Yeah, I think you should do it. I think we should find out.
Yeah.
What do you think? Is it possible, or am I just crazy? I'm off to work now. Love you guys. Yeah, I think it's pretty possible. I think you were probably that shit-faced, even if you mentioned Her Story, you probably wouldn't remember.
It's very possible. Very possible.
Very possible.
And also, you're more likely to remember him talking about Silent Hill because that's a game you could relate to. Whereas something he's doing that you may just not recollect it.
Yeah.
I don't know. I think it's worth a punt.
Recall something.
Yeah, I think you should do it.
It's worth a go.
Worth a punt.
Give it a shot.
What can you lose?
Yeah, what have you got to lose? And we might get to find out some interesting fact that you know a famous game developer and didn't even know you knew him.
You could have wrote with him on his.
Yeah, you could have written a game.
That's right.
You could have worked with him.
Instead of just sending me screenshots of Twitter, lol.
Lol.
I appreciated that very much, though. Jacinta, thank you for that. She sent me a screenshot.
So there you go. That's it for.
And I sent her a picture of the Duchess on the couch. Not many people get to see a picture of the Duchess on the couch, so you're lucky.
There you go. That's a privilege.
Yeah, y'all haven't seen pictures of the Duchess.
I've never seen the Duchess. I have seen the Duchess.
You've seen the Duchess. You just haven't seen pictures of her on the couch.
We've seen it in real life.
Yeah, we've seen the Duchess in real life. I've touched the Duchess. I have touched her.
Yeah, you have. You touches the Duchess.
I touches the Duchess. I've never seen her on the couch, though.
All right. And no more emails, you said, right?
That's it. That's it for emails, people. No
pipes?
speak pipes. No, nothing.
God damn.
It's time for a shout out. Hey!
No one's
have to
after my
end the
job
show?
anymore. Who knows?
Yeah, I guess not.
We'd
love to hear from you, folks. Podcast at veterangamers.co.uk. Go to veterangamers.co.uk, and there's a click. You can do a speak pipe.
Send us a message.
Through Twitter. I'm at Duke Scath. The show is at Veteran Gamers UK. Just get in touch.
Play Scarlet Nexus and let us know what you
Scarlet
think.
Nexus. Tell us what you think. Play
Tell us if
Octopath
we-
Traveler. Tell me what
wrong.
you think.
We
Play
literally
Chivalry 2. Tell us what you think.
We read
Go back
anything.
6 months. Play
Yeah, I'll
something
read
that we
junk
played
mail.
6
I'll
months
just
ago.
read junk mail. I don't care.
I'll read Scarred by Sarah Edmondson.
I'll read spam. Send me spam.
Spam. All right, shout outs. Go ahead. Who's starting?
Chinny, go.
Shout out to lesbians.
You gotta be that fucking diamond in the rough.
Gays get all the attention, don't they?
Be who you are. Like, be the real you.
I went to
let the world hold you back.
a Maggie Rogers concert.
Okay.
All right, okay.
Do you know who Maggie Rogers is?
Not a clue.
Nope.
Well, Tara really likes that. I have never seen so many lesbians in one place.
All right.
A lot of lesbians like that woman. I don't know if she is a lesbian, but
Sorry, hang on a second, just for the sake of curiosity, how do you
my
know
God.
that all the people around you were lesbians?
Yeah. I think you're making some sweeping statements here.
I-
Chinny,
no,
with
I
not
don't think
much
so.
evidence to
You may
back
be
it
right.
up.
I'm not saying you
I don't
may
think
be
so,
right,
because if they
but
were
there doesn't
all,
seem to be a lot of evidence.
if all these women were hugging and kissing each other because they're really good friends, then that's a good coincidence. But I'm pretty sure.
Was that really happening, or was that just in
Yeah,
your
they were
head?
all hugging and kissing like couples.
Okay,
That's
then.
cool. That's cool.
So, hey, Stu, I don't have a problem with it. You clearly do.
I have no
Yeah, really,
problem
Stu,
with
why
it.
do you got such a problem with lesbians? Why don't you quit being hateful?
Okay,
Yeah.
I will do.
And
Yeah.
at one point, Tara was
Be
like,
better.
what's wrong with you? I was like, I'm just trying to think of a joke. And my joke was like, the Doc Martin store next door sold out, was my joke that I was trying to think of.
Was that the best you could come up with?
Yeah. it
Well,
was
there's
pretty-
always The Simpsons, right? Hang on a second. I think I have the site muted. Yeah, here we go. Okay. Wait a minute.
Wait a minute. There's something bothering. Please. Lesbian bar doesn't.
Yeah.
Enjoy your death trap, ladies.
Yeah. So shout out to lesbians.
Dad, why'd you bring me to a gay steel mill? I don't know.
Yeah. Shout out to lesbians.
Okay.
Well, I will shout out Sarah Edmondson because I'm reading her book right now, Scarred. And I'll shout out the Duchess because she was funny when she posed for the picture on the couch. And I'll shout out Jacinta for emailing us. And I'll shout out everybody in the chat. I'm not going to read names because you know who you are. And I'll shout out Mr. Hero for sending me this awesome shirt. And I will shout out my dog because he's cute. And I will shout out Gabe because he sent me an essay to look at. And I'll shout out myself for just responding to that email I just finished. And I'll shout out Maggie Rogers because lesbians love her. And I'll shout out Derek Gallagher because he sent us stuff. Jason Gallagher, whatever.
Yeah, him.
Yeah, and I'll shout out Chinny because he's able to play Power Wash Simulator while also running the show.
I know, it's quite impressive.
I was talking to my brother tonight before I came
Shout out
back
to your
here.
brother.
And my brother said, like, the Overseas Connection meet up at 8:15 or 8:30 to get ready for the show.
What to do? What? What are they doing?
I said, what are they doing? Like, I said to him, like, we get together at 8:59.
We barely get together sometimes
Yeah,
before
right.
seconds
if
before
the Zoom
starting.
is ready by then, yeah.
So every second of our conversation is pretty much the
It's
podcast.
shit.
Like,
Yeah, it
it's
is.
pretty much
Oh,
the
right,
show,
yeah.
right? And shit.
What you see is what you get. There's no
Yeah,
behind
it
the
is.
scenes.
There's
There's
no
no, like,
preparation.
getting
We don't need
ready.
to
I don't
prep
even write
ourselves
notes. I have
get
no notes.
ourselves
I've never
psyched
written
up.
a note.
I have
in my
notes.
life.
Some of us take this show seriously. Look at all my notes.
I have never had a single note.
And I'm
ever
like,
from-
I'm playing
ever.
Power Wash.
Which
I'm
you
even.
can probably tell.
Not only am I.
Yeah, no,
not,
I
this
would
is
never have guessed that.
this is how easy this is now, right? So, not only are we used to be an audio podcast, and that used to be a production.
Yeah, oh, I
used to-
remember that.
All right. Not only that, we
Yeah.
stream it live, we
do.
record it, we
We do.
have all our webcams on screen.
We don't edit it.
We don't
Goodness.
edit it.
Well,
we
Duke
display
does a little tiny
I
bit.
edit a little bit.
tiny.
every
Yeah, little tiny bit.
every game we talk
The
about
stuff
comes
before we-
appears on the screen with a name and
Yeah.
a title.
Yeah, it does.
And
most of the
eventually,
time.
sometimes eventually, to be fair.
right?
the,
Yeah, yeah,
the good ones, and and in between that, tonight I've been streaming gameplay of me playing Power Wash
Yeah,
Simulator.
yeah.
This
All
is
of
how
that.
Right now you're just
easy.
spraying shit on the ground. For
This
Who
is how
says?
easy this is.
Who says men can't multitask? Look at Chinny here.
What I'm saying is, any fucking idiot can do this. You don't need half an hour prep time.
Definitely. No.
What are they doing? By the way, did he tell you what they do to
Well,
prepare?
I
What
think-
are they doing?
I think it's overproduction.
Oh, hey,
I think
ginger
it's like
balls.
too many dicks on the dance floor. Not that
I
they're
know
dicks,
why
they're
they're
lovely
meeting
people.
a little half hour early.
What, are
and,
you on your way to a dick meeting?
Do you know what? Do you know what? And I'll be honest with you, right? I haven't listened to the Overseas Connection in a while.
I listen every
know.
week, Stu.
I know. I'm just being honest.
I'm listening right now. What do you
But
think's in these headphones?
But I used to find it a bit frustrating when they'd start on a conversation about something and then they'd move on and halfway through it, and I'm like, just let it flow into its natural conclusion, whatever the hell.
What
that
are you
may
talking
be.
about? You
Well,
bloody,
there's a difference between flow and start talking about the thing I talked about at the beginning of this discussion.
Yeah, you
again.
talk about a game for about half an hour, and then you go, and it's really good. Yeah, play it. But the mechanics are really good. Look, you've gone back. You've gone back. It's like
Well,
you've
We
skipped
both
back.
have
Sometimes I
things to
remember
do.
something
The
I missed,
Overseas Connection
you
could
know?
let it flow more. We could stop letting it flow so much.
No, I think it's more natural.
There is
just
nothing
being
wrong
natural.
with the Overseas Connection show. I love
No,
them.
sometimes
I
you
think
see
they're
that
great.
getting into a conversation and then just move them on.
But
Like,
basically,
we've not got time to talk
I
about
want it
that
on the
anymore.
record that I love them. I think they're great
This
people.
man does not speak for
and
us.
you hate them.
No, I think when Robin Tate came along, right, that helped the show because he added that element of chaos,
Yeah.
which is what they needed because he couldn't be controlled. You can't control the Tate.
You can't control Duke, can you? Like he's,
No, you can't control Duke. His sound clips just appear when you're in the middle of
Yeah.
something.
Yeah. So
It's like, you know,
just-
when
I'm
you,
not gonna
you
start
know,
playing
when,
sound clips because you're trying to get me to play sound
and you'll
clips. That's not
find
how it
this out,
works.
Chini, when you have kids, right? Duke is like a kid,
Yes.
right? And you're in the middle of doing something, and then the kid will come up,
Yeah.
and start tugging on your sleeve because they want something, right?
Yeah.
That he's
Really?
doing with his sound clips.
Really?
He is that kid tugging your sleeve.
Really?
That's what he is.
So what?
Really?
I don't know what they're doing for 45 minutes, half an
Duke,
hour. I have
play
no
off the
idea.
sound effects.
They may claim that they have more high-tech gear than us, but I don't know.
I have
feel
no
like we're
idea what they're
podcasting
doing.
with Duke
What are they
now.
doing?
The show comes out, you can hear
Did
it.
he
like-
talk through the show before they do the show? I
I
don't
don't know. Maybe they do rehearsals.
Hey, that rhymed and everything. That was impressive. Did you
Right?
like it?
Well, it didn't rhyme. You just said the same word twice.
No, I said, did he talk through the show before they do the show? I
Yeah,
didn't say
so-
the same word twice.
You did.
Through
You said
and do.
show
Word of the year.
No,
and show.
through and do
Yeah,
are
show
not,
and show.
are not the same word. Just letting you know.
No,
Chin.
they're not. But show and show is.
Yeah, I know, but it has to be that to fucking make any
You
sense.
just need to let the conversation naturally
No,
flow.
you could say, do
Yeah,
they
when you're doing
review
the
the
show.
show before they do the flow?
Yeah. Okay,
would
that.
work.
Oh,
Okay.
whatever.
Yeah. Now you
Look,
can
doing
see.
through rhymed, all right.
Now
it's
you can
fine.
see why we shouldn't slag off other podcasts because ours is so
God.
shit.
Jesus, wet
All
already.
right, are we done? Is this over?
I don't
Stu,
know.
Did you do
Did we do all
shout-outs?
the shout outs? I can't even remember anymore.
I know. I did mine. Chinny did his. Are you-
Yeah, I'm going to
Chinny, you got
shout out
anything?
the Overseas Connection. There you go.
Overseas
Give it a
Connection.
listen.
Yeah,
It's
there you
great.
go. Okay, fine. Thank you for listening.
You don't listen to it. I listen to it. I listen to it, Stu.
Do you listen to it, Chinny?
I listen to it.
Do
I
you
listen
listen
to
to it, Chinny?
I listen to them. I listen to the SIL team. I listen to gabbing about when they do one.
Listen to it, Chinny.
Welcome, please. Enormous genitals.
Welcome to the flower shop.
Oh, Tina Fey, I love you. Do more good stuff, please. She hasn't done anything in a minute.
No, she's not done anything for ages. We watched the last thing she did, and it wasn't very good. I can't remember what that was.
What was it? I don't know.
I don't know. I can't remember. I just remember thinking it wasn't very good. I'm like, is that meant to be funny? It's meant to be really funny, and it's not funny. I'm not even laughing.
Was that the mayor show about the mayor?
So I can't remember. I just remember saying to Kate, "Oh, there's a new Tina Fey thing. It's meant to be funny," and then we watched it, and I'm like,
Well, you know what?
When
Look,
when
hey,
are we meant to laugh,
not-
man?
If a person does a thing, it's not always going to be gold, you know? Like,
Yeah, like Ricky Gervais and
That's the way it
Afterlife.
"Yeah, true."
yeah, agreed.
Just
Okay, that's enough. No more talking.
Stop recording.
There you go.
we're watching. We started watching Top Boy.
You need to watch The Vow.
Top Boy. Top Boy is basically The Wire, but in the UK. Is
Okay.
what it's,
No, I'm
that's
not
what it's
watching
aiming
any of The
for.
Wire.
That's what
Is
it's
it
aiming.
Oh
good?
man, I
Is
was
it
supposed
as
to ask
good?
you about. Are you celebrating Remembrance Sunday?
You don't celebrate it.
No, you
Well,
just
are
stay
you-
silent
well,
for a minute.
Germany KFC was celebrating Kristallnacht.
I don't
Sure.
even know
Hear
what
about this?
Crystal Knocked is.
Ooh, that's not a good thing. Kristallnacht
Okay.
was the night of the broken glass when the Nazis went around smashing up Jewish stores to terrorize the Jewish people.
I don't think they celebrate that anymore. Duke, I'm
1938.
just
Well, no,
saying.
of course not. But Germany KFC sent out a thing that said, "Hey, it's the anniversary of Kristallnacht. Why not treat yourself to some more cheese on your crispy chicken?"
That's just brilliant.
It was so horrible.
Wow.
And then, of course, they go, "Oh, we have a semi-automated process, and the fail-safe didn't work right." Motherfucker, you're supposed to have a person watching your robots.
So what they were
That's
basically
happened.
saying was that because it came up in a calendar as a sort of
Right.
thing,
Our
it
robot
just-
just went ahead and said,
his robot was just like,
"Why do you
"Hey,
have a
I'm
robot to
supposed
begin with?
cheese."
Celebrate Valentine's Day with crispy chicken. It's Christmas. Celebrate with chicken.
Yeah, yeah.
Hey, it's Hanukkah. Like, what the fuck? How about you just have humans do that? Why do you need a
Because
semi-automated
automation
process?
is the key.
Ugh.
Yeah, they don't have to pay a
ask
person
Elon
to
Musk.
do it.
That's working out real well for them. Motherfucker.
Oh yeah, I mean he is fucking up Twitter worse than it was
Twitter
before
is
he got
crashing and burning.
What's wrong with it?
It's
I
like
don't
on-
know what's wrong with it.
Oh my god. Okay, first of all, he's he said that we're gonna have verified check marks for $8 a month. That's all it takes now. So a bunch of people started getting these verified check marks and then making accounts. Like they have one that's like the actual real Mario, and it's just Mario flipping the bird. And
Yeah.
there's one that was George W. Bush for real, seriously though, and he wrote, "I miss killing Iraqis," and then the real Tony Blair said, "Yeah, me too." And it's such a shit show. It's so crazy.
Oh,
and there was
man.
a magazine or a
Twitter's dead.
website, a news outlet called The Verge that wanted to get a comment from Elon Musk, and they had to write in their article, "Twitter no longer has a communications department."
What I don't
Wow.
what I can't get my head around is, right, if it was Instagram or Facebook or, well, not so much Facebook, but YouTube, you know, where like celebrity people actually make money off the platform. Like
Yeah.
Twitter, they don't make cash off it, do they, for the advertising? They don't get any of that advertising revenue. Like the
don't think they
celebrities
do,
who have a
yeah.
blue tick.
I
You know,
that's
it's
a
not
good
like
question. I
YouTube
don't
where
think
you
so,
put a
yeah.
fucking video up and you get a share of those revenues, do you?
I
You don't get it.
Wow.
But why is
That's why
somebody gonna...
Twitter was in the red. I mean, it is in the red.
Well, yeah, but who's going to pay $8
Well,
a
I just did a
month for no
search.
benefit?
Okay, well, I just did a search and it says the Twitter Money Estimator allows you to calculate estimated earnings from your Twitter account if you believe you're an influencer based on your engagement and number of followers.
Well, it depends,
There's
but is that
opportunities
not
for
based
sponsored
on?
tweets.
Yeah, but is that but that's slightly different because none of that.
Well,
cash
my point though
goes
is
to
if your point is
him,
it's
because
not
that's
gonna-
like
this
if you hold
this
up
blue
this
check
product and
shit's-
pretend you really like it, we'll give you some
right,
cash.
but I'm saying though, if your point is that the blue check chaos that's happening right now isn't likely to affect people the same way YouTube chaos would, I don't know if people are counting on that money from those sponsored tweets.
Yeah, but I don't think those people who make a lot of cash of it probably just go, well, it's $8 a month. What I care, I'm earning $15,000 a month
No,
from
but
having it.
that's not the point, Stu. If you do that, right? I can make an account now called The Real DJ No Clue, and then say I like to sodomize goats, and then suddenly your ad endorsement deals are going tanking.
Yeah,
That's
probably.
the
No, I hadn't
danger.
thought of it that way. But I don't think I think he bought that or offered to buy it as a joke, and it backfired on him, and he ended
Oh,
up
you're talking
having
about
to
him,
actually...
Elon Musk
Yeah,
buying
yeah,
Twitter?
Elon
Yeah,
Musk.
well, who the
And he ended
fuck
up
knows why he
having
does
to
anything?
actually buy it. And,
He named his kid Jegle.
but he has no idea now he's got it, what the hell to do with it.
Well, hopefully he'll lose all his money and someone else will get a hold of Twitter.
Well, he's
and
going to lose
fix it.
some money. He's like, let's
Or
fire everybody. That's a good
Twitter will
idea.
crash
Oh,
and
let's
burn,
try
and
and hire
something new
you
will
all
come out
back.
of the ashes.
Please come
I mean,
back
that's
and
the other
work
thing.
for us.
Right. This is the other thing. Like MySpace came and went. Vine came and went. Tumblr came and mostly went. Facebook came and now it's only used by, my
Old
mom.
people. Yeah.
Right. And so I think Twitter, it's happened prematurely, but I think, that's the life cycle of some tech. It's just like it's going to go. So
Yeah.
let's see what happens next. Reddit's not going to fill
Well,
the gap. Instagram can't really do the trick.
Mark Zuckerberg's crew, because he fucking put everything in the Meta bloody...
I hope
fucking-
so. Fingers
yeah.
crossed. Fucking Mark.
Put it all in the bloody
Fuck Zuck.
intranet or whatever the hell it's called. It's not the internet, the
reckon-
metaverse. The
I reckon
metaverse
Mark's
basket.
looking at this whole Twitter thing and he's like, "Here we go,
At
guys.
least I'm not Elon Musk.
It's gonna come. This metaverse is gonna do it."
They're going to leave Twitter and come hang out with us.
They're gonna
I'll
hang
tell you
out in
something,
the
man. I
metaverse.
cannot watch The Social Network enough. That movie just always makes me so happy because it's like a 2-hour Schadenfreude cornucopia. Like the whole time, I'm just like, yeah, look, he wants to create a final club that he's the president of, and he's like, I don't want friends. It's like, well, guess what? You fucking ain't got them. So I hope.
Well,
you're
I'll tell you
happy.
what,
Now you
I-
can go wakeboarding with your fucking flag and
I
pretend
had
like
my
you're happy.
mind blown this weekend, or this week, should I say, Chinny?
Yeah.
Because
You tell.
do you remember Nick Clegg, Chinny? You know who Nick Clegg is?
Yeah, he was the leader of the Liberal Democrats.
Yes, and was also the
during
deputy.
2000
Correct.
like 8 to something 2000.
Correct, and he was a deputy
12.
prime minister.
Yeah,
of
he
the
was for a
country.
while when they had the hung parliament. Is that
Yeah, yeah. When he was in
Well
cahoots
hung
with
parliament.
yeah, with the Tories. Do you know what he does for a job now?
Just dicks about on Twitch.
Influencer.
No,
on Twitter?
no, he fucking doesn't. He is Mark
Sex worker?
Zuckerberg's. No, he's Mark Zuckerberg's second in command. He's the Facebook global president.
Wow.
Yeah, I think I did actually. Now that you
What
say
the
that,
fuck?
I do remember him
Like,
going to
what?
Facebook. That was a news story. Yeah,
How?
that he went to Facebook.
How did that even occur? But now he's his second in command. He is the man pulling the strings with Mark Zuckerberg. He's the one going, hey, metaverse, it's the future. Go on, get on it.
Well, just because he's second in command doesn't mean he's pulling any strings. He might
Well, no,
just be
but he-
ornamental.
No. He's obviously influencing him. He is his second in command. He's obviously.
How do you know he's influencing him?
Well, he must be because he's fucking paying him God knows how much. What, to do nothing, just sit there and twiddle his thumbs all day?
I don't think
Sometimes it's a good idea to have a pretty face or a well-respected
He's not
person.
a pretty face. He's a fucking.
He's not a
MP.
bad-looking man, Stu. How
Well,
dare
he's not
you?
Is he not
ugly.
well
He's not ugly.
respected? I mean, look,
Well,
if you can get
No.
someone with government
He's
experience
not that
on
well.
your
He wasn't that
payroll-
well
Duke,
respected. He-
Duke, if you want to be well respected in the UK, don't be a politician.
Yeah, definitely don't. be a
Well, I mean,
politician.
but well respected to whom though? Like, if
he was
a
not
lot of
hired
times.
because of
A
that.
lot of times people will hire people from the government not because they have a lot of respect for them, but because it's an indication that you have connections to that world.
That's probably true.
Possibly, but I don't think that's the reason he hired him. I don't know. It
No,
just
I
seems
doubt
very
that
weird
he's-
to me.
I mean, I don't know. All I know is a
Maybe,
number of people get into those
maybe.
situations and they don't actually have a lot of power.
Maybe Nick Clegg just fucking loves the Quest.
Maybe he just loves the metaverse.
Maybe he just loves
Maybe.
it.
This
Maybe
is so
we could
neat.
get.
I want to work for this company.
Maybe we could get Nick Clegg on the show, and just
Yeah.
be like,
Maybe.
you know, Pistol Whip lads, it's fucking brilliant.
Pistol whip.
Maybe he loves a bit of VR. Who knows? Who knew?
Who knows?
I don't know.
All
I
right,
just,
I gotta go.
it blew my mind. It blew my mind. I'm like, what?
All right.
That's pretty
Nick Clegg?
mind-blowing.
What? I thought it must
Yeah.
be another Nick Clegg when I read it.
Could
Right.
be.
Duke, you gotta go.
All right, have a good week, y'all. Bye.
Alrighty. But yeah, I do think Facebook's screwed. I reckon. I reckon Twitter's screwed. Facebook's screwed. Meta's screwed. VR's screwed.
Well, if
everything's
they
screwed.
don't do it, somebody else swoops in, doesn't it? So it's always.
Well, that's what they said. The trouble is these new startups coming along who are doing things differently to Facebook, and people are jumping on that now and going, "Fuck Facebook."
What's the new thing then?
I don't know. Something in France somebody's doing. I didn't really read it that closely, but you know, when it's like, oh, there's all these startups coming that are doing things better than Facebook's doing, and Mark Zuckerberg's been that focused on the metaverse. He's not really been focusing on what other competitors are doing.
Splunk.
Splunk. There you go. Is
No,
that it?
Splunk.
Splunk. There you go. Whatever
Splunk
that does.
that's my new social media platform. Splunk.
What you're using?
That I'm gonna make.
Oh, I thought that was an actual. I was about to Google it. I'm like, what's Splunk?
Splunk. Yeah.
Splunk.
Yeah. You just splunked over me.
Splunk. Great.
That's what you say when you.
Anyway, how's your house sale going?
I can't discuss that on a live stream.
Oh, sorry. I'm sorry, Jimmy.
I can't discuss numbers.
I didn't know
on a
whether you just
live
asking,
stream.
wondered if you had a survey or.
I
things.
can't discuss movements of my house. I can't tell you where I
Is it in a
live.
chain? Are you in a chain?
I might get swatted.
Are you in a chain?
I might get swatted, Stu.
I mean, you might.
To get swatted, people have to watch the show,
Yeah.
which they don't. So we're okay.
Okay.
Well, say goodbye. If you want to know about my house, I'll stop the stream. So say
Okay.
bye to the stream.
Bye all.
Bye.